On an evening in UK politics where everyone is busy battling for seats and, most important, power seats, 28 of the world's best sim racers have got 28 of the best seats in the house. Hello and welcome everyone to GPVWC's broadcast live tonight from the circuit of Monaco itself for GPVWC's coverage of the Superleague Monaco Grand Prix. My name is Simon Smith, as ever, dragging you kicking and screaming through Thursday night entertainment every fortnight, where we look forward probably to quite a few barrier smash-ups here today. On cameras, as always, we have Quintin Plain, who is back at the wheel and ready to give you pixelated filth on screen. And alongside me is our man from down under. It is Thomas Hinds. How you doing, Tom?
Welcome to the broadcast, everybody. Yep, doing pretty well, I must say. Doing better than I was last week. Had a bit of a cold/flu. I'm still kind of feeling the little slight effects of it. I'm getting better. It's okay, guys. I'm getting better. It's all good. But yes, no, it's this should be stay away. Yeah, no, this should be a very interesting race. As we said, there could be a potential for a lot of crashes and chaos potentially that could occur because it is Monaco. But yeah, I'm very interested to see who'll be fast and who won't be, because of course our current leader in the championship is not here for this round, which we'll talk about later in the broadcast. But yeah, so some chance for people to move up in the series.
Definitely. So that is one of the big news is that Filip Puška, our championship leader, not here this evening. He has a prior engagement with some technical issues with his wheel. So he's hoping to be back at Canada, of course, which is our next round 7 of the championship. However, his replacement doing very, very well. Puška's teammate as well, Skari Kantonen, no, not here either. He's had connection issues all season and will probably not be seen for a while. The other big news: the top 10 on the grid, covered by 0.8 of a second, which is great. Complete collection of cars, and Alex Cooper on the dying seconds grabbed pole position from Lewis Redshaw. Neither of which have the top cars at all. In fact, CSG is the second worst car in the field. The Midnight Motorsport is the 4th worst car in the field. So it's really showing that Monaco is a driver's circuit. Don't forget, you can tweet in at GPVWC Live. Thank you to Alexander van der Wild, who's already done it. He's tuned in for the Super League around Monaco. And thank you very much for joining. I hope everyone else gets involved too. We do love your tweets. Send us in. Who do you think is going to be the first in the barriers? Who's going to lose their front wing first? And if you was going to vote for yourself into a Super League seat, what would you use as your voting scam in 140 characters or less? Please let us know. Thank you very much. We do have some new drivers onto the grid. One of them is Renan Lopez, who is in the Adonis. He is a Brazilian driver and is new to the field. Dowie Tappers in the Vodbull, as is Ruud Heesterbeek, who makes his return to the Super League in the other Vodbull as well. And Sandeep Choda back in the green stripes too. So plenty of movers and shakers. What's your thoughts as we approach the starting of the race time?
Well, it's going to be interesting, I think, because I'm interested to see how Ruud does. Of course, he's a very, very accomplished racer. He showed it last year that he's definitely got the pace to be here in Super League. I'm sure some would argue that he could easily do well in Super League even this year. So, I mean, he qualified well. I think he qualified about 4th or 5th. And, you know, I'm expecting him to possibly do well and really feeling quite well for Filip Puška. But I'll be keeping an eye on him. I'll also keep an eye on Sandeep Choda, because he qualified, I think it was 12th or 13th in the green stripes, which is by far the worst car in the field. By far. It's still woefully underdeveloped. And he managed to get in the top 15, which is very impressive. So, yeah, I'm sort of just looking at everyone, really, because it's Monaco, and with the amount of retirements that could occur, it could be anyone's day, really, I think.
And that, I think, could very well be prophetic words in this race. Not pathetic words, prophetic. just in case that came out wrong. Who knows? So I appreciate it. It's a very early time of day there for our Aussie friend. However, you are bright and bushy-tailed, throwing a shrimp on the barbie, I'm sure.
As always. It's compulsory for every race, I've got to admit. So,
Vodbull have by far a massive upgrade coming into this race, which has enabled their car to be the fastest, although, to be fair, this has really been seen as a driver's circuit. Vast majority of the field in qualifying was separated by 1.8 seconds. Just a few drivers trundling outside of that. Something that we've seen across all three series on the career ladder is the closing up of the field in general, and that's been no exception here. The other thing that we've got, just a few people quickly rejoining, so we're running a couple of minutes behind due to some setup issues and connection issues with the cars. So Vodball, by far the best car. Green Stripes, by far the worst car. A couple of teams kind of in between, but CSG, Adonis and Midnight kind of very much towards the tail end of that, but their cars and their grid position certainly not showing it, Tom.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to get some liquid into me because I haven't really drank much for the broadcast. But
is it
no,
alcoholic?
yes, they're not. No, it's not. It's actually Coke. At what time is it? It's 5 in the morning. See, I'm a smart lad. I'm a very smart lad. But no, Green Stripes. Yes, they're looking very, very good here. I must say, at least in terms of Sandeep. His pace is very good in qualifying. He was only about a second and a half off the lead. So I don't know. I'll be looking for him to possibly be hanging around the top end of or back end of the 10, maybe even. He's definitely got the pace for it, and he's Sandeep. He is a very, very talented driver, and he's shown it on countless occasions before. So I'll be keeping an eye out for him, and DeWalt, if he can. Yes, please do bugger off, everybody. Get off the grid. We need you to go now. But yes, no, and DeWalt now, I'll be keeping an eye out to see how he can go because, again, quite experienced and has shown that he can hang on in a race and keep in the game. So we'll see how he goes from a bit further down the field.
Absolutely. Thankfully, it is dry for this race. Everyone is starting on the option compounds. There is no exception up or down the grid at all. So that's very interesting. So no one trying the weird old strategy. Here we go on the formation lap then around this Monte Carlo circuit. It's Alex Cooper that leads the way for Midnight Motorsports. Great pole position for him. Alongside Lewis Redshaw, who's had a return to the top end of the grid again after a few races slightly further back in the top 10. Ruud Heasterbeek makes his big dramatic return in third for Vodball Racing ahead of Spencer Vries and Jordan Weeks, 4 and 5 for Target, and I don't think people were expecting that coming into this event. Great stuff for the Target team. Let's hope that translates for them. Fran Lopez 6th on the grid for Red Archer VRT. Florian Geyer 7th in the Nord Zone. That's the best that he's been for a while. With David Fidek down in 8th position after a 5-place grid penalty. So that's what's popped him down to 8th for Hawkeye. Tom Vandervoort 9th in the Midnight Motorsport. I think he'll be delighted with that. Mindegas Columbus 10th for Torrent. Once again showing great pace there and outclassing his more well-known teammates. Tom Parker, second off his teammate in 11th position for CSG, but still a good result for the second worst car. Mikhail Tumala, 12th for Nijo, spent most of his time backwards in quali, but still put a good lap together. Sandeep Chodas 13th in the Green Stripes, which will be great for him, with David Junt in 14th for Nord Zone, making his first start for the Nord Zone team.
And in 15th, although he's in the garage at the moment, so I'm not sure what's going on there with Menno, but he's 15th, but he's in the garage, so I suspect he might be starting from pit lane. But then 16th is Jason Muscat, and it's Peter Casser for Torrance in 17th, followed by Davidus Missilis in the second of the Red Archers in 18th. W. Tapper for the second of the Vodballs in 19th. Kieran Ryan, the Old Fox, in 20th. There's Bart DeVos in the Colonel Sport in 21st. Kenny Lightbeer in the second, Nijo in 22nd.
Sorry to go above you, there's a crash. Dowie Tapper's crashed out, and I think he's taken Kieran Ryan with him.
No.
It's Bart DeVos, Davidus Missilis, there's all kinds of problems going on here. So it's, I'm just trying to work it out who's left, but Dowie Tapper definitely has gone back into the pits. It wouldn't surprise me if, no, he's the only one I think that's actually gone in, so disaster for him.
And then we'll quickly hand over to DeVos, then Lightbeer, Nell, Yakinen, James Johnson, Mark Wicks, and Roy Schroten rounds out your field there after that little drama there on the formation lap. 3
drivers in the pits because not Roy Schroten, but Woods car's in there as well. Here comes the lights though, the Monaco Grand Prix, 78 laps of pixelated action, 3 lights, 4, 5, and when they go out we'll be racing here. Heasterbeek gets a cracker off the line. Cooper bogs down. Redshaw's round the outside. Look at Spencer Vries too. This is going to be all kind of clustering down in turn 1. Cooper smashes the back. One of the targets loses a front wing. I would imagine that's Weeks, because he
It's
always
Weeks,
ends up at the wrong side of it. And there's a big smash towards the back down at turn 1. That's a shame for them. And it is Mikko Jakkonen who is crabbing at the back of the field with all of that drama, and he's into the wall down at Casino. But it's Redshaw that leads from Sven de Vries in the target. Then it's Heasterbeek, Cooper. Then Tom Vandervoort with another corker of a start up to 5th. Lopez, Parker, Choda, Weeks without his front wing, and it's causing problems further back because they're 2 abreast further round. DeWalt Nell has had an absolute corker of a start as well, up to 18th in the green stripes. Mikko Jakkonen, though, is our first retirement. He's out with suspension failure in a Phoenix. Roy Schroten with no front wing, and he was started at the very back. I think it was those two that collected each other. Real problems for those. But up front, it is Redshaw and de Vries with a ginormous lead. Over a second and a half there, back to Heasterbeek, Cooper, Vandervoort, Lopez, Parker, Choda, and then Weeks is causing a massive bottleneck. Timala gets through, and this is the problems where we had on the formation lap. Junt goes through up into 10th in the Nord Zone. That's a great move by him, and a great start too to avoid the problems. Weeks goes into the pits. I burp in excitement, and then they all come piling through to the end of lap 1.
Yeah, look at that. It was a bit of a hectic lap 1. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was expecting a big old crash at turn 1, but they all managed to avoid that. So good on everyone for avoiding a big old field-wide crash. But
Ooh.
I did notice Alex Cooper made a bit of a mistake through the last chicane at the end of that first lap and came under the pump from Vandervoort. But he's kind of gapped him now, and in fact, Lopez is pressuring Vandervoort now. So that's a bit of a pack from 4th down to 6th, and even Parker actually is starting to catch up, as is Sandeep, who's in 8th, by the way, in the green stripes, which is by far the least developed car as well. We'll probably say a few times. That car is woefully undeveloped compared to the rest of the field, and there he is in 8th. And just to compare, his teammate DeWalt Nell, who's been in the car most of the season, is down in 16th. But again, good result for him so far if he can stay clear of trouble. In fact, Kernov in the points at the moment with Bart DeVos in 15th. But some interesting mix-ups here, as of course people have had to pit for damage and had stuff in the pit lane. It's all a bit hectic here, as we've got obviously Fidek, Gaia, and you could even say Clonk coming through the field from the back as well. So a little bit of a mix-up in terms of where everyone is, but it's interesting to see as Redshaw is really under the pump from Sven, isn't he?
He is indeed. So those pitchers at the end of lap 1 were Fidek, Gaia, Clont, Tapper, Weeks and Schroten. Betakaza pulled into the garage at the end of lap 1. There looked like to be no broken wings on his car. He just pulled it straight into the garage and exited out of the game. I don't know if he was frustrated or if there was a problem technically or if he just had to go. But that was a very short race there for Betakaza, and that was the end of that one. Redshaw feeling the need to defend down into Mirabeau. That's an interesting look there. Sven de Vries wasn't close enough at all, but he's feeling like he's having to defend. This is allowing Heasterbeek, Cooper, Vandervoort and Lopez to pull onto the back. Parker's just behind with Choda. A gap back then to 9th place, which is Tumala and Junt. Junt keeps having a little look down at Mirabeau and at the Nouvelle Chicane as well, so he's looking in his mirrors and not looking forward, and as a result is already 3 seconds behind Choda, and this is kind of already becoming like a Division 2 behind the lead octet, is it you would say, and into the chicane they come. Oh, and Junt's hit the inside wall and he's spun round. Everyone's having to take avoiding action down 14, 15 position. Just clipped the inside barrier. Oh, light beer! Going round. Junt there, able to get out of the way because people not quite sure which way to go. You don't want to be awarded like a stop-go penalty and have issues. And David Fidek looked like he missed the chicane behind, and I saw a Hawkeye smack the outside wall in the second chicane at swimming pool. He's kept his front ring. It was Jason Muscat in 12th, but it's all looking like it stayed in one piece, but God knows how he got away with that.
That was a very, very interesting moment there from David Junt there. He was looking pretty good in the top 10, but he's now dropped down to 19th. So that's a bit of an awkward moment for him, but he'll keep trying to fight through the field, obviously. We know good old Dundu, he'll keep fighting till the end of the day, and some. So he's
never done, is he?
Knowing Dundu, yeah, he'll probably cars come home. But yes, Redshaw still leading. He's 4/10s clear of Sven de Vries at the moment. Keep in mind, by the way, the guys behind, I reckon they're closing slightly, or they're at least sort of keeping the gap. As, oh, hello, he used to be going too deep at the bus stop. This is going to give Cooper a chance for the podium. All over the back of him, has a little look, but no, not going to have a look down there. It's a bit of a risky pass, especially with the wall so close. So he's going to stick behind for the moment, but keep an eye on that as he just made a little error in the swimming pool and a bit too deep, and just had to sort of cut the corner a little bit and then just lift off the throttle, which almost gave Cooper a chance. And of course, Vanderbilt is behind him. Then you've got Lopez just behind him, Parker just behind him, Sandy just behind him, and there's a bit of a gap back to Tumala, who's in ninth at the moment, doing well at the moment for Nijo, so good points for them, could be on the cards if he can keep it there, and also Kieran Ryan, by the way, probably a bit of a shout-out in 13th for Phoenix, that could be good points for them if he can keep in that position.
Definitely. There's a red front wing down the home straight, not sure where it's appeared from, because it looks like everyone has still got their wing on, but there's a couple of bottlenecks starting to form. The one that's interesting me at the moment is the battle for 17th. Mark Wicks in 17th for Kernel. He's not been that high so early on in a race for a very long time. David Junt is just behind, and then David Fiduk, who, remember, needs to clear these people to limit some championship damage for him. He was starting in 8th as he was from a penalty, and that was James Johnson into the wall behind. He's kept his front wing down in 21st, but he's lost out to go, and that's Wicks round. So both issues there. So Mark Wicks there out the exit of Mirabeau down to 23rd. Let me just take a quick look at that. Was he helped round? Oh no, the car kind of came to a stop, and then Fiduk just popped him out of the way. He's got back going again. That to me looks like the desktop minimised.
Yeah, that looks like classic. Went back to desktop kind of move. He just kind of, couldn't see. Went to desktop, so he just stopped it as soon as he could, which is sort of the logical thing you do. So I'd agree that was probably a. Yeah, exactly. Yes, I definitely agree that was a desktop, which is a shame because he was, sitting about 19th there, doing quite well. But fortunately now he's down to 24th, but he is still going as he just has a little mistake through the bus stop. But he is still going, so hopefully that issue isn't terminal and he can keep going and keep pushing on. As by the way, the leaders have pushed it even further. It's now 3 seconds back to Rude and the little pack that he has there from about 3rd to 6th. So those two at the front are gapping, and Richer is now almost a second clear of De Vries. So finding that consistency that he can get into when he gets in these races, he can get into a bit of a fast consistency. I've found a bit like he did at round 1, of course, at Melbourne. He was quite good there.
Definitely. James Johnson and Mark Wicks both into the pits for repairs. Oh, and we've lost it. Well, now he's just crashed out, unfortunately, and that was at the end of coming out of Casino Square. He'd done exactly what James Johnson done the previous lap, and what I'd done quite a lot in practice. There is a weird cambering bump there, and if you put the throttle on just a bit too early, it spits you to the inside wall, and Mikko Jakanen has just left the game. He was already out, obviously, at the end of lap 1, but it spits you out, and it's so easy to because you're already kind of in a straight line and you can see your trajectory of where you're going, but you can't go for the throttle, and it's so easy. It's one of those things that's just like, come on, it's begging you. You just can't do it on lap 7 of 78.
Yeah, indeed, as everyone at this point is just a little bit spread apart. I mean, there is still that sort of little bit of a pack behind Easterbeek, although he's kind of cleared Cooper now. He's got about a second back to the two Simcraft. By the way, shout out to Simcraft. I'm sure that they'll be happy with this. 4th and 5th is by far their best team sort of positions at this point in the season. They haven't been both up in the sort of top 10 at the same time very often. They've sort of had one doing well and the other sort of struggling. So I think they'll be happy with that because they could be on for good points if they can keep this for the whole race, because it's a very, very long race. We're only 8% through, so a long way to go. So still a lot of time for stuff to change, but hopefully for their sake they can keep those sort of positions. As I believe I was looking at battle further back. Oh yeah, it was David Junt and David Fiduk back in 16th. So Fiduk's almost already back in the points as he has to trying to go around the outside of the swimming pool here. Well done. Oh, Junt just going a little bit too deep there and locked it up, nearly making a little bit of contact. He managed to avoid that, and they do keep going, thankfully, for both their sakes. But yes, Fiduk already in 17th, who's almost already sniffing on points, and we're only 6 laps in, so fun and interesting. So obviously showing, as we already thought, he's got a lot of pace in that car.
They're both closing down Kenny Lybeer, who's the next one up the road too. We've just lost James Johnson. He came straight back into the pits after his pit stop last time round and just parked it in the garage and exited out. So maybe the car just too unstable for him to continue on. The other good battle that is going on, apart from the Battle of the Davids for 16th and 17th, is Mindaugas Columbus has dropped behind Davidus Misalis. He was ahead of him earlier on. So Mindaugas Columbus was ahead of Tumala and Misalis. He's dropped down to 11th, so he's clearly had an error somewhere, but he was desperately trying to scrabble clear of Jason Muscat. Muscat's not really letting him get away. They were quite close down into Sandoval on lap 8. But Columbus now kind of gathering himself back up again and starting to pull a teeny bit clear. Kieran Ryan is sitting watching behind thinking, I would just love you two to collect each other. And there is something about having a rhythm around this Monaco circuit that just, you can't really have a car in front of you braking and jerking around everywhere, because it puts you off your rhythm, and then you start to go a bit wide, a bit edgy, and then that's when you clip the barriers, just like what David Junt almost done into Tabak for 16th, battling with Fiduk. And Fiduk there bouncing over the curbs. He's only doing that because he's being wrong-sighted, and what he's now found himself in is a Norge zone sandwich, because Florian Guy has joined onto the back of it, and that will become a four-way train because they've almost caught Liberia too.
Yeah, indeed, that's for 15th too, by the way, so that is for the last point. And, you know, as you can see, Liberia obviously not quite at the pace. He's quite easily been caught by these guys. So I'm interested to see how aggressive these guys be. Because they do want to clear Liberia, of course, because then they've got DeVos ahead of them and Ryan, and they're a little bit of a cluster ahead of that Liberia train. So I'm sure they'll be wanting to get past as quickly as possible. But, of course, it is Monaco. So, you know, you don't have to be terribly quick to really hold up people here, because of just how hard it is to pass, because it is, you know, a street circuit. All hell is
and there is a pass going on. 19th position, Dowie Tapper down the inside of Menno Klont. And Klont goes to the inside into the Lowe's hairpin, defends desperately. Vodball versus Woods. Great to see some on-track action. Tapper there was right down the middle. Klont kind of come across. He has got a reputation for a mild streak of kamikaze nation, but they kept it vaguely clean, and then Klont was able to kind of do that. I'll turn in really, really tight into Lowe's, but I have to flick it out and stay in front on the exit. And that was all going on whilst they were busy lapping Mark Wicks as well. So the fact that they were clean and didn't take each other off, I think, is a very good testament to all three drivers there, as Wicks a lap down after pit stops. Still going in 23rd and last, but that could well become something different. But Klont stays ahead of Tapper for now, but you kind of can see with that VOD ball that Tapper is sizing him up again as they come down the home straight. That car very good on the straight line as well as downforce. Klont just trying to keep that car as wide as possible as David Junt has gone off.
He's just had a little bit of a mistake. It was through Casino. He just went a bit wide because he was trying to defend from Fidek. I was watching the battle as they were exiting turn 1, and Fidek was side by side up the hill, and then he's kind of left Junt a bit wrong-footed for the Casinos. He's on the inside, and he's tried to defend and go in deep, and he went a bit too deep, and then he's popped out the other side and gotten passed by both Fidek and Gaia. So it's a net loss, of 2 positions for Dundu now. So he's down in 18th now, so it's a bit of a shame for him, but you know, he was under a lot of pressure, and Fidek, of course, is very experienced, so he knows what to do. Is he's now on the back of Liberia. This is now for a point, so this is officially for points now. So I'm sure Fidek will be wanting to get past as soon as possible, as DeVos and Ryan are kind of galloping off down the road. So as same with Gar as well, because of course he's got similar pace to Fidek. So I'm sure we're looking at these guys to get past. As Fidek all over the back of him, he's right up behind him. It's very, very close. Although, gets a bit of oversteer on the exit there. It's compromised his exit, and I don't know if he'll be close enough. Has a look, but no, not quite. As Liberia really desperately defending. This is for a point, so it is for more than just bragging rights. So, you know, expect him to defend hard as he goes inside. Oh, he manages to hold it, but Fidek's looking, but he won't have it. There you go. Liberia able to hold the position. There's some very good defending as he goes defensive again down to Mirabeau. He keeps onto it again in the hairpin. Will he have a look? Oh, nearly contact, but they still keep it going. This is fantastic battling here as Fidek outside to the inside. He's still on the inside. Will he look? Oh, not quite. Oh, this is amazing battling here, I must say.
The angular response there of Kenny Liberia, such an experienced driver in the Niger. He might not be on top of the timesheets, but he knows how to place his car. And what's great about this is he's making just a single one move, and he's sticking to the line, so Fidek knows exactly where he can and can't go. He pulls out to have another little look. Someone else has just had a bit of problem, or I think it was lag just connecting itself, sorry. So Liberia stays in the 15th. Fidek, Gaia, Junt there, nearly wrong foots himself in the background. He doesn't want to smash into his teammate and ruin both Nord Zones Day. And look at the way our Fidek's doing that cut through so that you can try and get into the inside for Anthony Knows. There is room if you can do it side by side, but there's a nasty bump on the exit and it can catch you out. Liberia got through that one nicely. Fidek then goes to the outside. You can go around the outside into Sandervoort, but it requires very tight running from the two. He's into the inside. Liberia slams on the accelerator. It's a little bit of shaky Stevens on the exit, but David Fidek, a great move up into 15th, and Liberia instantly can't depressurize that steam cooker because look at Florian Gaia straight onto the back. back. He wants through too, and so does David Yunt. And the two of them, as they go round Mirabeau once again, Liberia, I think, will be sitting there going, just leave me alone. But that was key for Fidek.
Yeah, indeed, that was a very, very good move. Just very strategic there. You knew that if he got the exit, he'd have him down to turn 1. I'd been noticing he had been braking a lot later at turn 1. I suspect David knew that too. So he positioned the car to get that move done. He got it done as Guy looks down inside. Ooh, a little bit of contact as they come into the swimming pool, but they get away with it. And Kenny holds on to that 16th for the time being. Look at that Fidek skipping off down the road. He's got about 8 seconds up to Bart Voss, who is catching Kieran Ryan, by the way, in that Kurnoff Sport. So looking good for them so far. But there's Jason Muscat in 12th ahead of them. He's got a bit of a gap ahead of that little quartet there. As Liberia is still defending as well from these two, by the way. And just to add to his woes, Menno Klon and Jordan Weeks are also catching on to that pack as well. So it's soon going to become a 5-person pack. It's on the back of Kenny here. So I think by the end of this, he'll be just going, could you all just please go away? I've really had enough defending this hard now. I want to actually have some, clear air. I can just, race without being under constant pressure.
Absolutely. Dowie Tapper, in amongst all of that, has been into the pits to repair some damage, I'd imagine, because it's nowhere near time for pit stops on lap 13 of 78. He's now a lap down, rejoined in 22nd, but that's kind of put a pay to his day. And I just saw there Jordan Weeks locking all 4 wheels down into the Lowe's hairpin to stop himself hitting Menno Klont. So that will keep them two at bay for the time being. Here comes Guy then onto the back of Liberia. That car's got inherent faster straight line speed. Goes to the outside. Slightly late to braking on the chicane, but he's bounced over the sausage curb. And that's the last thing you want to shove on your under tray round here is a ginormous sausage. He goes round the outside. That will be debatable because he'll say Liberia pushed me off and did not give me room, so I had to take to the curb. And to be fair, he launched over the curb as opposed to just avoid the thing entirely. That one's going to be up to the stewards, and the steward today is Chris Williamson. As always, he's been doing some fantastic work all season long as Liberia bins it. Nearly, just about keeps it out. I done that in Formula Challenge, except I done a stupid 180, clouted my rear left reel, and had to crab it all the way round into the pits to get repairs on it. So he was lucky to stay out of the wall, but that's another nasty bump in what is effectively a rallycross style Monaco Grand Prix. I've never known a Monaco track be so bumpy.
Yeah, indeed. No, it's I did race WSS around here last week at the last minute.
How did that go for you?
Got a bit of a cough still here, so terribly sorry if coughs are audible from me, but I am trying my best to hold together. But yes, no, I did race around here, and yeah, I did notice it was quite bumpy, even in the Porsches, of course, which can handle bumps better than these cars can. And yeah, no, it was quite surprising how bumpy this track is in this particular version of the track. So definitely something to look out for, and these guys will be especially vigilant being in these cars. There's Menno Klont now for 18th on the back of Liberia. So he's under even more pressure, even though he's had to deal with the others. He's still under pressure from these two. He'll be good. He'll be happy to hear, I'm sure, that after these guys, it's Roy Schroden is next, and he's a lap down behind. So I'm sure he'll be happy to get a bit of relief from that pressure. As I believe we're looking at, yes, still them. And, ooh, is that? Okay, right, sorry. Rick's just getting out of the way of traffic. I thought something was happening. Terribly sorry. Klant's gone. Klant's gone round, I think. Yeah, Klant's gone round. No, he hasn't kept it on, but that gives Weeks the chance to pass. There he goes. That's the 19th. God, I just saw his back end going. Oh, he spun, but no, he actually half spun and held on to it. But that has given Weeks the position. And now Weeks will have a go at Liberia. They're all lining up. It's like they're all lining up to take a shot at poor old Kenny. I'm sure by now he'll be sitting there going, oh, nearly ran on the back of him. This is going to give Menno a chance to come back, but I don't think he will. No, he doesn't. So Weeks holds on, but just frantic battling here. And this isn't even in the points. This is just more for bragging rights than anything else, and they're still battling like it's for the lead. It's quite unbelievable stuff to see.
It is indeed. So everyone's still wanting to kill Kenny, but they're ending up half killing themselves in the process. Jordan Weeks, we know how fast he was. He was in the top 5 in qualifying, and certainly, in the grid he was 5th, but he was 6th in quali itself. And he certainly has the pace to be running up there with the top lot. And despite his pit stop and all of these battles, he's only 49 seconds actually off the back, so that's not too bad because Monaco always has a large field spread. But a quick rundown of the field then, just whilst we take pause breath. Lewis Redshaw leads the way for CSG by 5.3 seconds on lap 16 of 78. Second is Sven de Vries for Target. Third, Ruud Heesterbeek with Oddball on his return, and I think he'll be very pleased with that. Despite not winning in the top car, it's a great play-in from his Super Cup time that he's having. Then Alex Cooper's in fourth. He's got a couple of seconds now over Tom van der Voort. He was shadowing him in the first 6 or 7 lap. He's dropped back a couple of seconds now, maybe to preserve his tyres and get some nose cone loving in, perhaps, because it's always a problem when you're following another car around. You get the wash effect. 6th position for Fran Lopez in the Red Archer VRT, still enjoying his switch from team. Then 7, Tom Parker. 8, Sandeep Choda is he's got Mikhail Tumala for Dowie Tapper for company in 8th position, but Tapper's actually a lap down even though he's hustling him. And a good little scrap going on for 9, 10 and 11. Oh, and Missilis hits the wall in 10th position. Red Archers VRT, Davidus Missilis clouts the outside wall, somehow still has wheels in the right direction and a front wing, so he's hit that angle perfectly. Mindegas Columbus having a little skid around in the background, and Jason Muscat sitting there thinking, all goody eye candy, I'll have all of that. Kitty gets the cream, and Jason Muscat is Kitty by name and by nature, so that lot's continuing to cluster together. Kieran Ryan's within touching distance, he's 4 seconds back in 13th, and David Fidux just passed Bart de Vos for 14th and 15th whilst that was going on. So Fiduk now onto the 2-point position, Bart de Vos down to 15. Guyer's closing him down in 16, then it's Junt 17 who's doing the same. Liebeer still ahead of Jordan Weeks, 18 and 19. 20th is Klont. 1 lap down is Roy Schroeter and Dowie Tapper, who's just unlapped himself from Sandeep Choda. And Mark Wicks is 2 laps down in 23rd, but still doing a mighty fine effort of it, although he's made a right pig's ear of trying to get out of the way of people down at the chicane. And there's a change of position because Tom van der Voort's in the pits, and that's our first man in, along with Tom Parker as well. So both Tommies are in, but van der Voort gets out, and this pit lane exit is an absolute sod to deal with, and that yellow line, quite difficult to stay inside when you go around turn 1.
Yeah, indeed. Sorry, just rejoining into the thing as a spectator too, but sorry, everyone,
okay.
Just a DC, so hopefully I didn't reckon on there as I re-entered as a spectator, but yeah. Yeah, no, it is definitely a bit of a pain, that pit exit, I know that much. It's really awkward to try and rejoin on the track, especially because it is quite thin, of course, as well, so rejoin and then try not to take anyone in your immediate vicinity as you rejoin, so it can be quite awkward to do. So yeah, no, it's definitely not a lot of fun as swinging through. Oh, who's that? That is one of the... It's Cooper, yeah, it's Cooper in the pit lane for Simcraft. Of course, I can't actually see what tyre compare he's doing because I'm spectating.
That's okay. They're all staying on option for now. I can see people not going to the prime until the very end, to be fair. It'll be unusual to go for the other way because your track position around here is king, because it is so difficult to overtake, as Tumala's now into the pits as well. For the Nijo Racing team, having their best run so far of 2015 after a very difficult start for the well-known green mean machines that aren't known as a green stripe, as Tom Parker disconnects. Oh no! Parker Bubba knows. He will be actually crying, I can tell, and that's a real shame for the CSG driver, who is making his second or third race this season. Second, sorry, and once again, covered, well, not in gravel, covered in disconnection rather than glory, and you'll have to wait again for that. Tom van der Voort, too, has had a really awkward rejoin because he's just rejoined behind the Missilis Columbus Muscat squabble, so now he's actually being held up by a slower collection of cars and is not able to get the undercut on that option tyre, so it's not working out well for the CSG and Midnight Quartet at the moment.
Indeed, and that's, I think that is that's something that happened, I believe, in ITC as well for Parker. I'm pretty sure he had the same issue in ITC in last round. He had some connection woes there when he had to fill in the last minute there, so it looks like it might be a bit of a issue, which is a real shame for him. I do hope for his sake that he can get that sorted out. As I'm just looking through, who is that? Muscat and van der Voort, because van der Voort has pitted, as Fidek now on the back of Kieran Ryan. Now this is for 11th, but effectively it wouldn't be, of course, because people are pitting. As another couple pit. And exit now.
Can I just
join
yeah,
I can see. Yeah, this is for 8th.
7th, 8th, 9th. Yeah. Lopez, Muscat, and Vandervoort. Lopez coming out of the pits. I wonder if he actually jumped over the line when he floored the accelerator, and that's pushed Muscat into it. Vandervoort tried to stick his nose down the inside. That was only ever going to get chopped off. You've got to be so careful of it as Muscat goes out wide into the Lowe's hairpins. Got the inside for Portier, but that's going to be an issue for Portier too if Vandervoort's going to be pushed out into that barrier that sticks out slightly from the track and it catches you unawares. I clouted it in Formula Challenge, but then I did clout almost everything. As down the outside goes Vandervoort into the inside. Muscat's going to be very acute on his angle into the chicane, gets away with it, and you can kind of park it on the apex at the exit and stays with it, cuts across into Tabak, and that will do quite nicely into the swimming pool complex, which is more difficult than you'd imagine. Sven de Vries in the pits has passed the lead to Ruud Heesterbeek. He's one of the last yet to pit. Sven de Vries comes out of that pit lane, and that has worked out beautifully for him, and he's going to stay ahead of Alex Cooper, so that helps out him to stay in 2nd overall. Missilis then runs behind, but Lopez nearly got caught out there with the Muscat Vandervoort battle. So Vandervoort trying to do the undercut, and it did not work because he got stuck behind Jason Muscat and Gaia in the pits, as is Libeer this time round, and Weeks.
Yeah, indeed, and also just keeping an eye on this battle forward is 5th, but will of course change with pit stops, but it's Missilis and Columbus. They're going at it with obviously Lopez just behind, and that's for 5th at the moment. There's Red Archer sandwich for Columbus there in the Torrents. He's in a little bit of a pickle, as it were, there for 5th, but Missilis has just gapped him slightly, and he should be able to keep ahead of him there into the swimming pool, as I believe they're probably one of the closest battles. I'm sorry, my timing.
It's the Muscat and the Vandervoort one for 9th and 10th. 9th and 8th side by side. Vandervoort's got a great exit and goes past. Muscat backs out of it into the back. That was great. That was all on the exit, and it was sized up beforehand. Muscat had been wrong placed there by Thomas, and Vandervoort there goes up into 8th position. Great overtaking by them. As who's that changing? It's Mindergaus Columbus retaking Fran Lopez. Lopez had a go down into Anthony Nose, didn't quite work. So Columbus there having to defend again into Vandervoort, 6th and 5th position. Columbus yet to pit. Lopez has done, but Lopez wants to get by on these fresh tyres to try and keep himself away from being taken by Vandervoort, because we know that Alex Cooper has already leapfrogged Fran Lopez, so he's lost out one place already. He doesn't want to lose out another one. Has clomped into the pits this time by, and someone's gone to the primes for the first time this race, and it's Bart de Vos in the Kerno. He was running 14th in the points before the pit stops. Now he rejoins in 15th because he's lost out to Ferrari and Gaia through the pit stops, and now he's on the slower tyre. It'll be interesting to see how he goes, and that will really inform how everyone else goes in the rest of the race. As Fran Lopez jumps across the chicane, loses it entirely. Columbus goes through, retakes 5th position, and this is not working out well for Fran Lopez in the Red Archer VRT. There'll be no damage because it was just bouncing across curbs. All that does is continue to pull him away from Alex Cooper and much closer to Tom Vandervoort and Jason Muscat at that point as well.
Yeah, indeed, and he's still, of course, behind Columbus now, and of course Vandervoort's coming up close behind, as is Muscat. And of course, there goes Kieran Ryan, by the way, he just pits now. Fidek pitted about a lap or two ago, going for the undercut on the Old Fox, so I'm interested to see if he beats him out. I'd assume so. If he's gone out in the option, I can't see why he wouldn't beat him out, because he has got a lot more genuine pace. So as he's coming around the final corner now, just see where's Kieran. There he is, still in pit lane, and there goes David. So yep, Fidek there beating him out quite convincingly too, actually. That should be... And oops, sorry, a little bit of lag. No, he won't actually. Guy doesn't beat him out, so Guy is still going after Kieran Ryan, but he has jumped Bart de Vos, who just laps his teammate, by the way. And David Junt's actually coming up on Bart de Vos now too. That's for 15th, and will be for points, and that's week 7. Good recovery, sorry, more lag, I think that might have been at my end. Hello, who's that? Ooh, Kenny Libeer spun at the last sector in 19th. He's without front wing, so he's going to have to pit again, but he's picked a good spot to do it. It's only a short stop to the pit lane. But I'll just see if I can see what he did. Yeah, okay, yeah, he's just come out of the chicane and just gone too hot on the exit, tagged the wall, round he goes, and there goes his wing. Thankfully, he wasn't around anyone when it happened, so he was just on his own, just a little incident of his own accord. So he doesn't actually affect anyone else, thankfully. So in a way, that's a good thing there. But he has put it in the garage, I believe. So I believe he may have just called that a day, which is a shame for Kenny because he was having some...
No,
he's still there. Sorry, he's still there. Sorry, that was my camera angle. Terribly sorry, my camera angle made it look like he was retiring, but it was just the angle. But yes, he's still there, but he's down in 21st. Still, I think, a lap down now, but he is 2 laps ahead of Mark Wicks, so he's got quite a nice gap behind.
That is good. Ruud Heasterbeek still yet to pit. He's one of the last to do so, if not the last to do so now, as the field shapes itself out, because Columbus has been in, Jason Muscat in as well, all at the same time as to what that was heading on to. And I'd imagine Ruud's in this time by. Yes, he is. So he's made it to lap 24, which is significantly longer than everyone else. Is he trying to catch one stop less than the rest, if he can help it? Tyre wear is not a massive thing here. Nowhere near as bad as, say, Barcelona, where we was all kind of on tenterhooks about it, as Lewis Redshaw does retake the lead in the CSG, which he was actually chopping down the lead on Ruud Heasterbeek before anyway. So De Vries goes through into second, Alex Cooper then into the podium position in third. Ruud Heasterbeek there loses out down to fourth. There was side-by-side action going on behind, and that was Roy Schroten and Dowie Tapper. They're battling, and that'll be for position. It's 19th side by side, and Roy Schroten stays ahead of Dowie Tapper. Tapper trying to retake that position after his front wing problem. Roy Schroten had a front wing problem as well on lap 1. But Dowie clearly having more of an issue of trying to get that car back to the pits. And this is going to be an interesting one because they're battling for position. They're about to be lapped by several drivers who are also battling for position, and that can only lead to joys and carnage around the Monte Carlo circuit. As Tapper, very, very good, specifically under braking, and I think that's where that caught him out beforehand. You can see just exactly the accordion effect of how that catches up. But Schroten, no slouch. But he needs to make sure that his previous reputation of being a bit too bullish sometimes for his own good does not rear its head around the Monte Carlo circuit. And at the moment, Tapper's too busy causing himself an issue to really attack right at the moment.
Indeed, so I was just looking back on the replay. Fidek's gotten past Fumala down to Mirabeau there for the hairpin. Just got past him, so he's now moved up into effective 10th. Now he's got Mr. and Columbus next on his list. So he's really carving through the field, Fidek. Obviously, as we said, we knew he had good pace, but he's really carving through the field. A bit quicker than I thought he would, I'll be honest. I wasn't expecting it to be this fast, but he really is charging through the field. Next up is, as I said, is Missilus, and he's actually right behind him already. His teammate, Muscat, in 12th, so some possible solid points in the cars. He's going around the outside into turn 1. Surely not. Yeah, I was going to say, brave move from there. He was a bit too far back, but he's got a good exit here up the hill. Trying to go side by side, but doesn't do it. As Missilus, sorry.
Here he goes.
Goes up the inside, yeah, into Casino. He's going to get done before they get the right-hander there. Down towards Mirabeau. That's a fantastic move there from Fidek. Very, very quick and early as... Oh, no, Liberia has, in fact, DNF, which is a big shame for him after the strong position he was looking in early in the race. But there you go. Fidek gets through now up into 9th. The next on his list is Columbus, and it's a bit of a gap up to Chota, who's still going, by the way, he's for 7th now in Green Stripes, which is a very, very impressive performance. I hope for his sake he can keep that to the end of the race.
We've lost Jordan Weeks as well, and that was in a collision with Bart de Vos down at turn 1. He was in 18th position, and just looking at it, it was like he was turned round by Bart de Vos. So they were battling for position, and that's an unfortunate end there for Jordan, who seems to catch the wrong end of many sticks these days, and just needs a lucky break in it. So that's the end of Jordan's day, but again, another solid showing of pace. It just needs to translate to some results now so that he can further cement his reputation as a speedy one, not a Pasta Maldonado one, as what continues on up front. The thing that impressed... that surprised me again with Kenny Liberia was that he parked in the garage. It seems to be like an unwritten one so far today, that if you feel... Oh, Roy Schroten, no front wing, no rear wing. Down at Mirabeau, 19th position. And that happened... Oh, he's lagged out and then rejoined down in the barrier for me. But he's got himself back going again. He may prove the exception to the rule, but it's almost as if you feel that your car is unsafe, people are choosing to park it as opposed to try and soldier on for the best. And that may play into the hands of people like Mark Wicks, who's going round at his own pace, but really trying to just bring it home. And at this rate, we should have had a bet as to how many finishes were going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, should have to do that, didn't we? Yeah.
I predict less than 21.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 18.
Send your tweets in with that, guys.
Yep.
Hashtag GPVWC Live or at GPVWC Live. We love to hear from you.
Indeed, is. I was just looking back at that Jordan Weeks incident when you were talking about it, and it looks to me like it wasn't actually he wasn't actually spun by DeVos. It looks to me like he went into turn one and he locked up the rears. From what I can tell, it looks like he went in a bit too deep, locked the rears, went round, ready to go, and just kind of a bit because he had nowhere to go there, and that caused him to spin and hit the wall, and that was him retired. So it looks like kind of a bit of a racing incident from what I could tell. But again, you know, obviously we're just sort of reporting about just as the incident happens. So of course they might get looked at after the race. But it looked all right to me. But yeah, but of course they'll be looked at, I'm sure, after the race. But yes, no.
We are not we are not the people. As Fidek goes around Columbus in the tunnel. In the tunnel, you're having a frigging laugh, ain't you? Round the outside in the tunnel, beautifully done by David Fidek. The way how he's got that car set up where he can floor the accelerator so much earlier and still have traction is amazing. Sometimes you see the Hawkeye just do like this little flick out to like a bit of oversteer, but it seems to complement David's style of driving, and so he's able to correct it and continue on at such a great pace. And it's how he's able to get the drive out of the corner to such a degree that he's then upon the person when it comes to the braking phase, and he doesn't need to be that much better by that point as he rubs the outside wall. We don't want to do that again, but it's that specific section in that Hawkeye that seems to be miles above the guys that he's overtaking. So he's doing half of the move on the exit of the corner, so he doesn't need to do stuff on the entry. And Choda has been reeled in by Columbus slightly in all of that. So Fidek immediately onto the back is just like, yeah, whatever, you're a couple of seconds up the road. Big gap afterwards, though.
Yeah, indeed. I was looking back at the replay again, and it's, I don't know, I almost think it's possible Columbus kind of just let him have it, nearly in a way. It did look to me like he may be lifted through the tunnel. I could be wrong, of course, but it did look a bit suspiciously easy as he went through the tunnel, and maybe he knows that, you know, Fidek is a lot faster. He's just thinking, I'll race my own race and, you know, get to the end. Yeah, not his fight, and I'll just, you know, being Monaco, it's early stages, you know, could be plenty of retirement, so I'll just get to the end, and I'll reap the rewards then, rather than trying to have a really desperate scuffle with someone who's, you know, faster than I am at the moment. So possibly a tactical call there, but again, you know, we'll probably find out after the race, I'm sure, on the forums, in the post-race sort of debriefs the drivers like to post, or some of them do anyway, me amongst them. Fidek is now only probably about, it's got to be under a second now behind Choda, who's right up behind him already in the space of, what, one lap, which is ridiculous. As, yes, he's now pressuring him, and that is for 7th, and then as we said, it's quite a gap up to Van der Voort.
I tell you what is juicy though, the battle for second has now decided to kick off as well. Sven de Vries has been caught by Alex Cooper. That was half a second through the last split. Cooper kind of shadowing the back of Sven de Vries. Thank you to YTF1 Racing Team. They predict 10 finishes for tonight's Super League race, so they are clearly looking forward and rubbing their hands to some more carnage. We are having a drinking game for this race, which every time someone crashes we'll have a shot of something, and I do encourage that you have it too. So we're on lap 31 of 78, and that is beautifully coming up to half distance, so we've still got plenty of more drama for YGF1 to receive, so let's bring it on out. As who's that changing? It's Columbus.
Oh no,
oh, Choda,
yeah, he's
backwards.
Round.
Don't drive backwards into the corner.
Let me have a look at what happened. I did the exact almost idea did. It's nearly a complete replica into the chicane. He's just gone too much on the exit, got the wall, gone round, lost the front wing. It's almost a literally exact replica of what Libeer did earlier in the race. So massive shame for Choda. He was doing so well up in 7th there for Green Stripes, but he's going to pit now. He's down in 14th, and surely he'll drop further as Kieran Ryan now goes past in the Phoenix, and DeVos surely will go past too, but could still be in a shout with points. You know, he'll probably come out right behind or with sort of DeVos or a little bit further behind. So, you know, points could still be on the cards. So don't count him out yet, but it's a real shame. As interesting to note that DeVos, of course, still in the prime, and he's going along all right. I mean, he's not going lightning pace, of course, but he's still struggling along. So when everyone else gets on the prime, he's on the option. He might have a bit of an advantage there, I'd say.
Yeah, he just had a bit of a shocking lap as a 1:19.4, but that's probably he might have just had. He's just let Redshaw pass. That would be why. So traffic. But yeah, he's in the 17s, 18s, which is kind of where he was before in the lower 17s, the occasional high 16s. So it's not dramatic, but I guess it means how many pit stops do you want to do, and I was kind of thinking 1/2 if you could get away with it. I'd imagine most people are going for 2, just so that they can maximise the amount of time that they can have on the options. I personally not want to do it to the end, as Dowie Tapper just exits the pit from another stop as well, so he's clearly been in problems for the Vodball. I just personally want to leave my primes to the end, or if I was starting at the back, I would go for the beginning of the stint if I knew that there was going to be carnage and a massive backlog of cars, because you're not going to lose so much time in the traffic jam that ensues behind if you can cling on to the back of it. There's different ways that you can look at it, it depends. But Lewis Redshaw then leads the way by 11.2 seconds from Sven de Vries and Alex Cooper, having a great scrap over second and third. Menno Klont gets out of the way and lets them both by as he goes. Oh no, he doesn't. He lets one by, he doesn't let Cooper by. I'd have just pulled over, mate, and let them through, and Cooper there nearly clouting Klont. There's an alliterative allure, if ever one wants one. But it's a skill to be a back marker around this circuit. Ruud Hespeak then 4th position, a further 5 seconds back. Then Fran Lopez 5, Tom Vandervoort 6, just 2 seconds back. That duo haven't really spread out. David Fiduk now in 7th has got 18 seconds to catch. Then it's Columbus, Misalis and Tumala. Tumala's still got Muscat behind him. Those two have been nose to tail for most of this race since Tumala's earlier little mini excursion. Gaia has joined onto the back of that though in 12th, just 1.9 seconds behind, and give that 2 laps, he'll be there. Jump is being pulled along too at a slower rate in 13th. Kieran Ryan 14th for Phoenix, and God how they need some points, so I hope Kieran can keep going for that. De Vos is in 15th, 1 lap down with Klont 16. Choda was 17th by the time he got back out again, so that was a very long stop for repairs. Dowie Tapper is in 18th, then Schroten's 2 laps down in 19th, and Wick still going 3 laps down in 20th position. So that's our 20 runners and riders so far as we approach half distance. How has it been so far for you, Tom?
Yeah, it's been very good. Very interesting race. It's been obviously some instance, as we kind of expected. It is Monaco, so it's kind of to be expected really in half the course, I think. You turn up here, just going to say like Emil, expect some dramas with Emil, if I could use that sort of alliteration. But yes, no, it's very interesting so far. Some very interesting implications with teams being, in certain areas. Some of the teams that we aren't used to being in the points are looking at maybe getting points if they can hold on, which is, I think, good. It's some good variety that we always like, of course, in the Superleague series. Not like we haven't had enough of that, of course, so far in 2015, but I do think it's a good thing, as Tumala's still under pressure now from Muscat, by the way. So the Nijos just can't escape the pressure this race. They've just constantly been under the pump from every single direction. But yes, now Tumala getting under quite a lot of pressure from Muscat there in 10th spot. But yes, no, it's been a very good race, and I've really enjoyed it so far, except for the whole disconnection, having to spectate and not actually able to see the gaps all the laps, which is kind of a little bit annoying, but that's alright. I'll still manage either way. At least I can actually see the race. It's the main thing. As Misalis just making a mistake at the bus stop there and just cutting across a little bit. Simala does the exact same there as he goes a bit deep into the bus stop, and he did just gain about 3 seconds from doing that. So he might need to just ease off and let that catch up again, because that could be counted as shortcutting and track extending there, because he did basically cut the whole bus stop there and gain about 3 seconds, which is interesting. As, no, it wasn't a paddle, right? That's actually for second. Yeah, Strawdenweek's still under the pump from Alex Cooper, but Cooper not able to make the move yet, as De Vos just having to get out of the way. But yes, no, it's been interesting and it's been a lot of fun, except for the whole disconnect thing. But my ancient, unfortunately, I can't really do much about that, but just kind of grin and bear it, unfortunately. But yes, no, it's been very good. And yeah, I'm interested to see how things will go from here, because we've still got a long way to go, and plenty of things can happen. Being Monaco especially, it just amplifies that kind of unknown factor, as it were.
We have indeed. I think we should take an on-board lap with Alex Cooper in 3rd position and watch exactly how he takes running round with Sven de Vries. And let's take a quick looky at this one as they go round into Sandovo, up the hill, round anything but a straight at all. That is probably the most bent straight since the start-finish straight, to be fair. Up over the hill, blind curve into this one, around into Casino Square. Then some people choose to avoid the bump in the middle of that road. I chose not to because it's just another place to turn the wheel and ruin your tyres. Not Portier, Mirabeau you can always take more speed into than you think. Lowe's hairpin, I found that grinding the curb on that one works well. Same with Portier 1, and a really early turn into Portier 2 was giving me half a second as opposed to actually following the black line trail round that one. Down into the chicane, beautifully done. I kept smashing the sausage curb on the middle. Maybe it's just because of my general attraction to sausage more than anything else, but it just allured me in. Tobacco scares the hell out of me, and so does swimming pool. This has now become, actually, the swimming pool complex, for me, the most difficult corner on the track, because if you don't have your ride height set up properly, it just spits you into the outside wall. But if you have your ride height set slightly too high, you don't quite have the momentum and turning to then be settled in time for the second part. And so it has been made in theory easier because there's no longer a barrier and it's faster. But actually, the risk that what happens is when you get it wrong is you just lose a wheel as opposed to losing a front wing. So that's an onboard lap with Alex Cooper as we continue going round. But definitely some scary moments going on here as Jason Muscat and Florian Guy go into battle for 11th and 12th.
Indeed, yes. So Muscat and Guy going at it as Tumala is still ahead of him. In fact, he's actually pulled ahead quite a way, so I suspect they are getting quite locked in combat, because I'd explain why they've dropped behind Tumala. That does seem like a lot of time they've lost to him, but again, you know, when you battle, especially around here, you do tend to lose a lot of time hand over fist. As they continue to battle, that is 4/11th, as we said, between the Hawkeye and the Norwegian, sorry. And Junt's just behind that too, by the way. As we said, he's been kind of slowly being pulled along, but he doesn't quite have the pace of those two. So he's just kind of holding station at this point in 13th, but that could be points if he can hold it there. Kieran Ryan, as we said, he's still in 14th there for Phoenix. As we said, they desperately need points in that car. As does Kernov, as...
That was Redshaw into the pits, sorry. I was getting excited. Yes. But he's just rejoined. But again, he's one of the first ones to dive in. Rejoins. They're just between Choda and Lopez, and that's not ideal in terms of where you want to rejoin, because he's in the middle of a battle. They've got Clont they need to lap, and Lopez isn't shy of sticking his nose down, as he immediately does at the top of the hill, and that won't please Redshaw at all. Basically caught between a rock and a hard place, because they're both whippersnappers, and Clont's not really getting out of the way beautifully for Choda and co. So all this is doing is slowing people up. He's got plenty of an advantage, but it's just you quite like to be greedy and say, I'll have that extra second or two, please. And Choda actually is let. Oh, I don't think. Oh yeah, he is a lap down. Sorry.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And now Clont gets out of the way. That makes more sense. Sorry, I was getting all excitable over nothing.
Yeah, no, he actually hasn't gone out of the way yet. He just went a bit deep down into the bus stop chicane, which, hopefully he'll get out of the way here, because he's getting caught by these two, and of course Redshaw is is going to be battling for the lead here, so you'd assume that he should not make it too hard, as there goes Lopez in the pit lane, so I'm sure Redshaw will be breathing a sigh of relief as he now has to...
as well.
Yep, sorry, excuse me, as he now doesn't have to deal with pressure from behind, so I'm sure he'll be happy with that, as he now flies past Clont. Just exiting pit lane. Sorry, I might have been lagged there, but he is in the clear. Look at that, Cooper in a fantastic bit of clear area. Look at that, he's got a whole bunch of it actually. As Fidek is the closest man, but he's a bit of a gap behind, and of course Cooper will be on new tyres, so he'll be very pacey. So yeah, there you go. So Cooper in a nice spot, so he's pretty much timed that stop to perfection and come out in a really nice clean air situation. As I believe has, Fran as well. Lopez has come out in a nice little bit of clean air too. So
and he's gone onto the prime tyres too.
Yeah, yes indeed. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so that's interesting. We'll see how he goes. I mean, he's got Van der Voort right behind him, and he's on the options. So I'm interested to see how this all goes. As he'll be obviously a bit slower now in this stint. That could mean he'll be faster later on when everyone else has to put on the prime. So I'm really interested to see how Bart DeVos goes. I'm still keeping an eye on him, because of course he's still on he's on the prime, of course, and he's the first man to do that stint. So I'll be interested to see where he ends up is, of course, he's going around on that slower tyre. So his pace isn't fantastic, but when everyone else goes onto the prime tyre, he'll have the options. So he'll have pace. So I'll be interested to see if he can bring back some of that time he's losing, perhaps.
Really interesting to see what you can then do with the track position to do it, because it won't just be pure speed and everything. It will be lots of other things as well that will play into his account on the grip factor to see whether or not he can actually overtake people on the track or not. So it will be a fantastic final for him. Elsewhere into the battle goes Lopez and Van der Voort for 6th and 7th, and the fact that Lopez is now holding up Tom Van der Voort, and he's at the end of his stint and Lopez is at the start of his, I think demonstratively shows exactly what the difference is on the tyres. Van der Voort wants through, and he wants through straight away as Tumala's into the pits, so that drops him out of the battle with Muscat. Muscat goes on, so if he can get the undercut, that'll be great for him. But what this is doing is for Tom Van der Voort is it's backed him already into Mindergaus Columbus. They're losing that much time. So Van der Voort into the tunnel, practically pushing the Red Archer car around. Goes to the inside, goes to the outside, there's contact to the two under braking. Lopez there misses the chicane. He was kind of punted into that one, but it was a kind of look left, look right. Remember, one of the beauties that we saw earlier on when Kenny Lybeer was battling was he made one move and stuck to it, and I think that's one of the things that you need to make sure that you are very consistent with around the Monaco circuit, and that kind of switch back and forth, especially if it's done by the leader of that pack specifically, is where the issue is caused as Videk into the pits, and he rejoins behind this little gaggle at the moment before they make theirs. So
you know, that's sorry, a bit of lag there, but yeah, no, that's a dodgy move, especially around here, especially down into bus stop chicane, because you're braking obviously down a hill, so you're already unstable under braking as you're sort of coming around a slight corner as well. So you're already low, you know, the car's loaded, the car, you know, slight touch and it'll go. So it's very, very fragile down into there, if that's the right word to use.
It is.
And yeah, so doing that, you know, move across, I really do think it's a very, very dodgy move. I'm interested to see if he does it again. You know, I do think really, you know, do the one move and you stick to it, I think is the way to go. You know, it's just kind of the code of practice, I think, in a way. So I don't really like that kind of, you know, switching across. Oh, a bit of a punt up the back there. But that's just because Fran made a bit of a mistake on the exit. Oh, really defending hard here, even though, of course, you know, Van der Voort's on the quicker tyre here, so he's going to have a lot more pace. But Lopez defending for his life. Oh, no. Is that a
big lag going on everywhere for whoever that was.
Is Van der Voort.
Yeah, yes. I think he's disconnected. And could this be a double disconnect for the midnight? No, he's back.
Oh, that would have, yeah. It reminds me actually of an incident in another league we had around here a few weeks ago. Someone, a cameraman extraordinaire, couldn't complain or know what I'm talking about, but we had someone lag out for about 5 seconds down the tunnel, and then he popped up again at the bus stop chicane and appeared inside someone, and then he flew up in the air about 20-30 metres and then plonked back down on the ground again. It was a very, very odd scenario to watch, and I was commentating for that, and it was, I was just like a bit confused as to what was happening, because he lagged out at a very awkward moment. But
only in sim racing.
Yeah, the joys of sim racing where you can lag out and then fly in the air is Lopez again, still defending through the tunnel. We'll see if he does that move again here, as Van der Voort's quite close. Not close enough to have a look, and Lopez not feeling the need to go defensive there. Although he's really not got a good exit out of the bus stop chicane. Van der Voort might have another look again here, but he's not really close enough. So Lopez still holding on, but some very fiery defending here from the young man.
Is indeed. Just off your screens, there was a change of position. Florian Guy has overtaken Mikael Tumala down at turn 1 for 13th and 14th places. So that sorted itself out. There's also an absolute titanic scrap that was going on between Bart de Vos, Melo Clont and Sandeep Choda. Choda's just pitted, actually, and it's because Tumala's round. He's lost a wheel down at Lowe's hairpin, 14th position. And that happened, I think, beforehand. He smacked it down at Mirabeau beforehand, so he's just retired. So that's another one bites the dust, and that was under pressure from before. Yeah, so good meal.
I've just gone back now and found it. It looks like he was defending from Gaia, and he's got a little bit of a tap up the back and then gone with the wall, and he's lost his wheel, and he seems to have tried to struggle it round to get back to pit lane. He just couldn't do it, and that's way down at turn 1, so he struggled all the way down Lowe's hairpin, but he just couldn't do it as he now leaves the game. So it's a real shame for him. He was looking very, very strong. So it's a double retirement for Nijo, which is a real shame there. They were looking good here for some possible points. What have you seen?
Ben de Vries, they're trying to lap Bart de Vos, and the two, I think, may have had a bit of a touch. Fourth position at the minute is Bart de Vos because Ruud Heesterbeek has not pitted, but that was all a bit awkward. And the reason for that is because de Vos and Klont are battling over 14th and 15th, and he didn't want to pull over because Klont would have sent it up the inside and tried to take the position. But they've all kind of come out the other end okay. But Bart de Vos on those prime tyres, they're really, really struggling to hold Klont behind, and Choda will be eating into the advantage of that because he's on the options now.
Oh yeah, and there you go, Lopez just got past by Van der Voort. He's made a mistake into turn one, just lost the rear end on exit, and Van der Voort's gone straight through and taken advantage of that very opportunistic little moment there and really took it by the scruff of the neck. He didn't need a second asking, he just was straight through. As it was just a mistake on his own, Lopez didn't get help there, it was just his own little mistake. So that's Van der Voort through now, and that is for 5th now. And I'm sure Van der Voort will be very happy with that he's now got clear and he can really push on those option tyres. As now it's Columbus's turn to try and get past Lopez. And then it's Fidek also, he's catching on to this, by the way, he's on the option again. So he's catching on to the back of this. Muscat, sorry, yep, bit of a lag. But yeah, it's a bit of a gap back to Muscat, and then it's another gap back to Kieran there in 9th.
What it has done, though, for that whole battle, is that Van der Voort is now some 17 seconds behind his teammate Cooper. That was about 10 or 11 beforehand, so it's lost him time generally overall. It was only going to hurt him longer that he stuck behind Lopez. Columbus, I think, will be very keen to get himself by because that gap that he had over Jason Muscat and co will be shrinking the more that he stays behind it. He's got into the pits now, but I think that actually Jason Muscat is going to have him long term. Overall, Muscat will need a pit stop soon as well, but it will be interesting how that kind of plays out towards the end. 19 drivers then running in this race on lap 45 of 78. Heesterbeek currently leading, and he's trying to not pit again, I think, and he's got 3.3 seconds clear of Redshaw. So if this happens where they've both got either one more pit stop to go and Ruud Heesterbeek goes straight to the primes and so does Redshaw, or if they've both got another change to option and then a change to prime to go, Redshaw now may have to pass Ruud Heesterbeek on track if he wants to get this victory in the CSG. That suddenly makes that battle fundamentally tantalising, I see. Alex Cooper in 3rd is some 17 seconds back, so it has become a 2-horse race and a dependent strategy one too. So plenty to stay in tune for here at GPVWC Super League, and it's a pleasure to have you all with us here on this Monaco Grand Prix UK voting evening.
Indeed, yes, as echo what Smithy just said, yes, good to have you all here and watching this. Monaco Grand Prix, of course, very unique. Of course, it always is every year. It brings out the the incidents, the drama, well, sometimes the chaos. It depends on the situation in the race, but the occasional chaos as well. So it definitely brings out the interesting scenarios in the drives and so on and so forth. As just finding, it's fun, interesting. As Redshaw is catching Heesterbeek, keeping in mind. So I'm interested to see if he might try and get him done before the pit stops, because then he doesn't have to pass him under primes. But I'm interested to see. I don't know. This was Redshaw not quite as good on the tyres as Heesterbeek, so we're interested to see how that goes. He is still catching. It's a good couple of seconds now. It's a good gap back to Cooper, and De Vries not too far behind Cooper. It's a pretty big gap back to Van der Voort and Lopez, who's ahead of Fidek, and of course Muscat has pitted, I believe, just pitted, so that's why he's dropped back. You'd assume, because he's pitted, he'll probably have a net gain of getting past Lopez, but he will have another stop, of course, Muscat, because he hasn't done the prime yet, so keep that in mind. As who's that? Oh, right, 10th, Missilus, 9th, Missilus and Gaia for 9th and 10th. They're battling there for that.
They're about to be lapped as well by Heesterbeek. And the beauty for Heesterbeek is that he's got his teammate now, Dowie Tapper, between him and Lewis Redshaw, and I'm sure Dowie will try his very best to make it slightly awkward for Lewis to get by at the moment, because if you're going to do proper team games and you've just lapped your teammate, you might as well use him for a good bit of high-speed pixel chess around the streets of Monte Carlo. As who is that changing position? That is a Hawkeye into the pits of Jason Muscat, leaving in 9th position. So Not too bad there. Sandeep Choda has gone on to the... Menno Clont pitted and went onto the prime tyre, as has Mark Wick. So people are clearly trying it out. Muscat rejoined in 11th position behind the Missalis and Gaia battle. So a net stay the same for that lot. He wasn't able to stay out longer and jump them all.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. So it's all quieting down a bit now. It's a little bit of a quieter phase after all the action we've had. Although, as we said, Gaia's some big pressure on Missalis, and Muscat's just behind that, so he's going to join on with pace, of course. And we've got, as we said, Heasterbeek and Redshaw coming up at Pat. Left these guys, terribly sorry, a little bit of a lag again. Sorry about that, my internet appears to be being a little bit spastastic tonight, so sorry if I'm having all lag moments. I can't really do much about that, so yeah, trying my best, but yes.
Hashtag not PC, oh dear. That's not the best word to be using, my chummy. But yes, yeah, as they come up to lap our wonderful duo for 9th and 10th. So Heasterbeek there now just 1.1 clear, so he's lost about a second in the last lap and a half, lap and 3/4, so it's really not working out, this staying out late for Heasterbeek. And he, try as you may with the tyres, he may have track position, but he's going to have to make this car so wide, practically. He can't afford to be going to Weight Watchers with that rear wing. It's got to be wide. And yeah, that is going to call into question everything that Ruud Heasterbeek knows about driving a car in a defensive and tactical fashion, because Lewis Redshaw will be having a sniff down the inside as soon as he can, because Lewis Redshaw knows that this is the race that he needs to get his championship back on track.
And especially, of course, with Pushka gone for this one, this is his chance to really get some big old points back, and he'll be looking to get as many as he can. So he'll be definitely, as we said, he'll be going for every move he knows, and some, I'm sure, try and get past Heasterbeek. But Heasterbeek, as we said, he's a very experienced racer, and if anyone's going to be able to defend that position, it will be him, as they pretty much now are together, so they're going to be locked in combat now, as they are still catching, of course, Gaia and Co up ahead.
But so slowly, that's the thing now, is that actually they're now battling each other. That last sector, Gaia and Missalis pulled away a 10th, so they've got to watch it out as Redshaw goes very wide into Raskas, kind of thinking, I'll have for it, and Heasterbeek bails, and that could not have been timed perfectly for Lewis Redshaw to do it. And it'll be interesting to see where Heasterbeek repops back out again. Cooper should go through, and I'd imagine Sven de Vries will go through too, and that will displace Heasterbeek outside the podium. He's gone to the primes, so that's it. That is definitely his last stop. We will have to see, though. I think, and this is my personal opinion, that Redshaw, Cooper, de Vries and Co may well come in and do another stint on the option. It's really going to have to depend. If they can get enough of an overlap on this option tyre and really go hell for leather, they may be able to come in and get the position, come out on the prime tyres and just wax it home. But if they're thinking, no, we're actually on a 3-stopper, which I think would surprise me. Sorry, it's a 3-stopper around Monaco. I would be quite surprised at that, because it doesn't lend itself, this track, to that kind of strategy. And yeah, we shall see. We shall see. But I think the next 5 or 6 laps will really determine whether or not these guys come in for another set of options, or if they're going to go straight onto the prime and say sod it.
Yeah, indeed. Well, if I'd almost agree.
Missing a wheel. Sorry, 7th position. He's missing a wheel. Has he done exactly what we've seen people do elsewhere?
Have a look.
I think he has.
Turn 1, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just gone too deep. Yeah, just went too deep, locked it up and straight to the wall. He was up behind Fran Lopez pressuring him, and yeah, just must have missed his braking mark, and he's gone straight off. And there you go, in the wall, and there goes a wheel. So drama.
There'll be no podium for David Fidek now, after that massive long streak of podiums that he's had in point scoring finishes. Mr. Consistency has finally cracked. In 2015, it's taken him a season and a third, but it's got there eventually. And David's trying to get himself back to the pits. On a rare occasion, sometimes it will fix the wheel for you. I was very lucky to be able to have that happen to me here when I smashed it into swimming pool 1 earlier on. But he's being very generous to get out of the way of everyone. It's a trick to get that car around. He limps into the pits. We're on lap 51 of 78. He's still only in 8th position. If it does repair it, and let's see if it does, he's overshot his pit box, so he's got to go back through. That's one of the things you don't want to overshoot. And it's added it! Yes. Absolutely freak of nature. David Fidek gets all the luck in the world and gets back into this race. Through goes Gaia, through goes Muscat, through goes Junt. Can Kieran Ryan get through? No, because Kieran Ryan's busy smacking the wall at swimming pool 2. And depending on how much damage... Oh no, Kieran's going to get through. David Junt's gone off down at turn 1 and he's lost his front wing, I think. In 11th position. Yes, he has. He has, yeah. They're all falling off now. We're getting to this final stage where the concentration starts to lose it. Fidek then rejoins in 13th position. He's going to beat out Bart de Vos. But unlucky for some, 13. And this is just swinging more and more to the hands of Lewis Redshaw, because that's another championship rival on the low end of points here so far. And Canapino's not here either. So that's another one. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's all shaping up for Redshaw if he can just keep it on track. I'm just looking back at Yunt. He just went too deep into turn 1, locked up on his own and hit the wall. So it was just a simple driver error on his part there. Led to that lost front wing. So he's limping around now. He's in 11th. He's got Ryan coming up on him now, and he'll drop further back as he has to pit, of course, to get a placement wing. But yeah, well, very interesting now. It's all starting to sort of kick off a bit. This has, by the way, put Choda back in the points, although I think he's got another stop to go, but he's back in 15th again, so hopefully for his sake he can keep it on track and give Green Stripes their first points of the season. I'm sure they would be extremely happy with that, especially with a car that's woefully undeveloped compared to the rest of the field, if we're honest. But so yeah, no, that's interesting stuff. It's all sort of kicking off a bit now as mistakes are occurring. As I think that's a battle for 8th. Yes, there. Oh no, yes, that's
it is.
Yeah, Gaia and Columbus still going at it. Mistalis still going at these two, Gaia and Mistalis. They've been going at it for the last dozen or so laps, just line astern, and they're still going at it now as Muscat's still just behind. He hasn't really caught them. He's been just off the back of them for a while now, but he's, I guess, slowly catching up. And it's now for 8th spot. Sorry, no, 6th spot. Sorry, 8th. Yes, no, it's 8th. Sorry, my timing.
That's okay. Just off the screens there, Tom Vandervoort is our next guy that's pitted and gone to the prime tyres. So he's the first one that's come in and said, right, I'm committing and this is where I'm going. So I'd imagine most will follow suit. During all of that drama with David Fidek and David Junt, we lost Dowie Tapper. He crashed out as well, completing 46 laps. So he is our next retirement. That leaves us with just 18 runners and riders, with Clont, Schroten and Wicks, the 3 not in the points at the moment, but they're still going, and if they keep it going there could be points at the end of this, because it's far from over yet. But yes, so Vandervoort then switches to the prime tyres. He'll be the clue then to see exactly how long Cooper and Redshaw can go, and Redshaw will be the first to blink, because he's blinked every single pit stop window so far as being the first one in. He's notoriously harsher on his tyres than a lot of other drivers, and that has not played perfectly into his hands, but thankfully it doesn't matter if you're so harsh if you've got that kind of speed. As here comes Gaia, 9th position, onto the rear of Misalis, takes a look, Misalis defends, takes the inside line, does not do a dunt and clip the inside and spin round. Gaia thinks better of it, takes a quick look into the back, but is actually wrong-footed slightly by the way how you enter into there, and that's got that weird awkward camber, and it washes your car out. And look at Jason Muscat onto the back of things as well. Sandeep Choda, 13th position, round the outside into Mirabeau, takes 13th from Bart de Vos. Beautifully done, options versus prime, but another good move there by Sandeep Choda. If anyone's going to go deep into turn 1, it should be Sandeep by name, but he's got through. And side by side 15 and 16, Junt and Clont as well go round, and Clont there does lose the place from Junt, but they were side by side up the hill and round the outside at the top of the hill. Beautifully done there.
Yeah, and Mark Wicks is now retired, so he's your next retirement. Leaves it 17 people left in the race. Yeah, poor Wicks, he was going along, he kept struggling on, but unfortunately seems like he's come undone. Accent's what it's saying on the screen. I'm just going back now to see what happened. Yeah, I'm not sure. He looks like he tried to limp it around the track, but he just couldn't do it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's turn 1 again. Honestly, it's becoming a bit of a corner that's getting people unstuck. Because I'm just trying to find where it is. It was a long way back, long way back. In fact, oh, okay, right. I think he might have even pitted to try and get it repaired, and it didn't repair. So, yeah, he's just kind of thrown the towel there, which is a shame for Wixie. He was, still going along, still, in the field there. And, at the end of the day, as we said, because it's Monaco, if he just stayed in it, he may have had points on the cards. But not to be, as Jans and Klont still going at it, by the way, for that 15th spot. That is for a point. So, Klont, I'm sure, will be fighting as hard as he possibly can to get that point forwards, because they do need as many as they can.
What's really interesting with that battle is it's about to catch the other squabble that we've got for 8th, 9th and 10th, because that's the next two that they've got to lap. So those poor drivers are going to find themselves in issues. And what was side by side when Gaia runs out wide at Massenet, that's not worked out for him. Different lines you can take into Massenet. I always take a wide line in, but it leaves you very open for a dive bomb. Gaia swoops that one up, but Gaia and Junt, remember, they were nose to tail earlier on. Now Gaia is lapping Junt. Such is the way how Florian's been able to get through the traffic, and Junt has not been able to be quite as effective. So those two spreading their legs, as it were, across the track, and are now an entire lap apart, so everyone can shove themselves up between. But Missilis, that's an awful line through the chicane, but he's managed to park it on the apex nicely, so it doesn't mean that there's an issue. Muscat's dropped right back. Don't know what happened to him there, but he'll have another go very shortly. And these 5 cars are going to be making life very interesting for themselves soon, as Lewis Redshaw, in from the lead, goes onto the prime tyres, and he's going to be out well clear of Heasterbeek. But interestingly, he'll be behind this quintet. Oh, as here comes Muscat on Gaia.
Oh,
Gaia keeps it for the time being, as Alex Cooper is the next car up behind this. Sven de Vries. Redshaw's rejoined in 3rd, and he's clear of Heasterbeek. So that is net win there so far for Lewis Redshaw in terms of the actual championship lead. And here comes the 8, 9, 10 onto the back of the battle for full 15 and 16. So, and the battle essentially for 1st and 2nd at the moment too. So nigh on the entire field in one long one long train.
Yeah, indeed. No, it's very true. As they're still battling out there now. Yeah, God, I thought I almost saw someone go off. It was just my little moment of lag at my end. But yes, no. Guy's still holding on to him and still pressuring him. He's been pressuring him for quite a number of laps now, as I believe Muscat just let Cooper through, which is why he's dropped back again. But yeah, no, it's still going on, this battle between Red Archer and Norjohn. And they just got up to the back of Menno Klont now, who I believe has been passed by a couple laps ago. And then now, as who is that? That is Columbus in the pit lane too, by the way, onto the prime. So presumably that will be his final stop. He'll be done for the race. We'll see if Klont can try and not get too in the way here.
Cooper in 2. So as Alex Cooper does pop into the pits, I think we may have just lost Tom there for a bit. Sven de Vries still leads the way. Redshaw now moves up into 2nd. Heasterbeek is into 3rd, and he is ahead of Alex Cooper. So that is the difference between being able to dive things back through. Heasterbeek now back up into the win of something there. The podium position for 3rd position, and Alex Cooper down into 4th. Will now need to pass Ruud Heasterbeek on the track, and Fran Lopez very much on his own in 5th. Tom Vandervoort 6th, and it's this Missilis, Gaia, Muscat well ahead of Columbus, and Kieran Ryan in 11th. Fiduk up to 12th. He's got round Sandeep Choda as the pit stops all sort themselves out. Then it's De Vos, Junt, Klont, Schroten as your 17 runners and riders left there.
Wow. Damn, that means my 18 finishes prediction is wrong. Damn it. Oh well. It was worth a shot.
It's a drink for you. It's a shot for you every time you're one off. There we go.
Oh. I've still got a whole day ahead. I don't want to get too boned.
We can invent drinking games around Monaco all day long. And,
never ending supply
we've lost
fuel.
Columbus. Columbus is disconnected.
No.
Oh, what a shame for Mindergaus. It was just coming... Oh, no, he's not. He's crashed. Oh, Columbus, what did you do that for? He's rage quitted. He's binned it at the exit of Swimming Pool 2, lost his front wing, spun round, and in a fit of rage, Mindergaus has exited out of the game. Oh, what a shame there, because that could... The fact that he was lapping like the guys that were directly behind him, he would have still come home a good... Well, he'd fitted the prime, so he could have gone back to the options, ramped everyone back up again. That was still a top 10 potentially waiting for Mindergaus. What a shame. What a shame.
Yeah, indeed. Well, what this does do is put Kieran Ryan in the top 10 now. He's 10th in Phoenix, so...
Yes!
The old Fox, he knows his way around. He knows his tricks. So he's still going along there in 10th, and that could be some really valuable points for Phoenix. I'm sure they would love as many points as they could get. So hopefully, for his sake, he can keep it going.
I think we need to
still under pressure from Guy.
I think we need to call him Fantastic Mr. Fox if he gets the top 10, because you've called him old for quite some time, and he's not that old. I know I'm older than him, so I'm now feeling like the ancient man on a Stena stair lift, probably needing a colostomy bag. So
I'm just surprised. I'm surprised he hasn't called me out on it yet. I've been waiting for him to call me out, but he hasn't called me out, so I've just kind of kept teasing it. But yeah, I think that 10. I think it's fantastic. For sure, I think if he can get that, because it's been a very good drive so far. Pretty quiet, actually, since sort of the early stages he was battling it out. He's been pretty quiet since then, just kind of, running around on his own. But he's still doing well, so, credit to him, and hopefully for his sake he can get some good points for Phoenix. And
indeed, as Tom van der Voort goes back into 5th position, as Fran Lopez exits the pit lane, back in 6th for Red Archer VRT. His teammate, Davidus Misalis, is still doing... I'm going to call him the sponge, because he's soaked up so much pressure. He's just letting Sven de Vries through to let him lapped, and he's done it in a good position where... Oh, Sven de Vries smacks the wall there. He's just about kept all of the pieces on the car. That could have been an interesting one there for Sven de Vries. He's leading the race currently at the moment because he's yet to stop. One of the last people to switch on to the prime tyres. Fran Lopez, of course, has done his prime stint and is out on the option, so he's the one that's going to be interesting to see if he can do anything about Tom van der Voort ahead of him. But Sven de Vries trying to leave it to the last minute to go into the primes. Redshaw closing him down. This Misalis, Gaia and Muscat squabble needs to be resolved soon, and none of them want to pit and go onto the primes, but actually they're probably starting to lose so much time now. Muscat, he may as well go for a punt on it. Kieran Ryan's far enough behind, and he's not going to be able to stay out on the options and leapfrog the pair of them. So I'd take a punt, come in, stick on the prime tyres and just go for it, because these two may slow each other down more by having their own internal squabble, especially if they was letting through Sven de Vries and co. I'd have done it a lap ago.
Yeah, indeed. No, I have to agree on this one. I do think at this point it's probably a good idea to go for it, because clearly at this point, Misalis has really done a very good job in defending. He's clearly going to keep doing that, I suspect. So I really wouldn't be surprised if... Actually, it's Gaia. There you go. So Gaia's the first to blink. He's going to pit straight first and 3 here. At the moment, he'll obviously go on the prime because he has to. So it releases Muscat from him, because Muscat now has got Misalis. So it isn't really a release from the train. He's just got one less person in that train. So that's interesting. I thought Muscat would have blinked a little bit earlier, because even if he was on the slower tyre, not being in that pack, I reckon he would have gained time and possibly got the undercut. But didn't go for it. So I'm interested to see how that goes.
It's all good.
Oops, sorry. Yeah, just in front of Kieran Ryan. So he's managed good stuff strategy-wise from those guys there.
Definitely, that has worked out well for him. So Gaia back out in 9th. Davidus Misalis, we've seen this quite a few times, particularly towards the end of last year. It was becoming really well noticeable, is that he is exceptionally talented in being able to drive really well defensively without losing tons of time, because those Red Archers were he was busy battling and dragging that car into the lower ends of the top 10 towards the end of last year, and he's kind of around the same bit again. Today he's a bit higher due to other things that have gone on, and occasionally punching a bit more above that weight, but he's been brought up in Super League as the person that has to deal with being constantly in a battle, and he seems to be very much at home with it. Reminds me of people, if you think back to F1, you've got your Hulkenbergs and your Frensons and your Heidefelds, where people are really, really suited to driving perfectly in the midfield and punching above their weight. And you'd wonder maybe some of those skills are a bit like, this is how I deal with things. What's a no-no?
Yeah. He speaks going around at turn 1, lost his front wing. Down at turn 1, I just noticed then as I was flicking through, in fact, he was going
he's gone smashing
slowly
on at Massenet as well.
Yeah. So he's
He's still
he
got a
done
front
here?
wing for me,
Oh,
but the car's clearly buggered.
Yeah, he's gone. It looks like he's
Now
just
it's
gone
gone.
too deep again. So he's about the third or fourth person who's just gone too deep. And turn one, he's just tried to go the escape road, didn't quite turn in time. He's whacked the wall on my screen and lost his front wing. I mean, I could be wrong, but
No, it's
my
gone.
screen's telling me. Yeah, so shame. Look at that. He was having such a great race, and he's going to have to limp around now. I mean, obviously the gaps are quite large between cars as people have had their issues, but he's still going to drop quite a ways down. So it's a bit of a bag of points Volball could have had there that's going to go begging. So yeah, shame for Ruud. There was looking like such a great race, and just a little bit of a mistake in turn one, which, as we said, there's been a few in the last few laps. His concentration starts to kind of slip a little bit, and it looks like he's fallen victim to that. So real shame for Ruud, but I really do hope for his sake he can still get some good points out of this, because, you know, with the drive he's had, I do think he deserves it.
Does indeed. Baptism of fire to start your season off at Monaco. Although he is not a stranger to the Super League by any means. He pops into the pits. Tom van der Vault is just exiting, coming into swimming pool 1 and 2 now. He's got Stroton ahead, so it's going to be close between whether or not Ruud Heesterbeek stays in fourth or whether he'll lose out to van der Vault and to Lopez as well. Fran Lopez and the Red Archer is just a couple of seconds behind. They're onto the pit straight now. Choda's in the pits too as he goes on to a new set of tyres. Through goes Tom van der Vault up into fourth. Fran Lopez on the option tyre goes up into fifth, so that's one person he doesn't need to overtake. Here comes Heesterbeek trundling down in sixth, but he's well clear of Miscelis and Muscat. And they have to pit still, to be fair. So Heesterbeek sixth position, still nothing to be sniffed at all in the Vodball Racing car. So he's doing a fine job, but I think that will tiny blot to his copybook that has lost him out on a potential podium finish on his return to the top echelon of the career ladder.
Indeed, no, it's definitely a bit of a possible podium gone begging, but, you know, again, you know, still kudos to him, still in sixth, and that's still, you know, a very good bag of points there for him and for Volball as well. I'm sure they'll be very appreciative of that, as Lopez has slowly been catching Van der Voort over this, and of course he's on the option tyre, so he's on the faster tyre, but interesting to note the top four all on the prime, and then the next four all on the prime. I mean, on the option, sorry. So it's top four prime, next four option, and then it's prime option, and a couple more primes at the back. But yes, that fight between Miscelis and Muscat still going, by the way. So Miscelis, as we said, he's kind of been known for being very, very good under pressure and defending that position. He's showing it here now, under pretty much constant pressure for the last probably 20 laps or so now, and he's still holding on strong and really not making many mistakes. So, you know, kudos to the Red Arch driver. He's done very well.
I tell you who is now under pressure. It's 10th position Kieran Ryan. He's got David Fidek all over the back of him. And because Kieran Ryan has not pitted and is still on the option tyre, he's actually caught slightly Florian Geyer, who pitted and went onto the prime and has not been able to get through. Kieran Ryan goes one way, Fidek goes the other. He's taken a switch back and down into the inside. Got the inside for the corner. Oh, Kieran! Discretion is sometimes the best part of valour, and he tried to keep round to the corner. I think he'll argue that one maybe and just say, look, was there room for two? But it's a bit awkward to do it sometimes around Monaco. Fidek made the move, has got it stuck, and Kieran, thankfully, keeps his front wing and all four wheels pointing in the right direction. Does he pit? Ooh, very close to the inside wall at Raskas, but keeps going. But down to 11th then for Kieran for now. Fidek, I think, may need to still pit for option tyres, so that could well end up being pit stop re-affected back the other way by the time we finish this race entirely.
Indeed, no, it's been an interesting race, and unfortunately, as I said, prediction's been a bit wrong. It's 16 cars left on track now, so almost so one more retirement, and you know, you just finish and you'll get points. So it's interesting to know. So yeah, so Schroeten's the one outside the points at the moment, 16th. His teammate Klont is at the last of the points in 15th for Woods, so could be a good point for Woods. And again, they're another team that really needs those points right now for obviously developing their car further and you know, just trying to improve results, as what have you seen?
Miscelis into the pits, sorry, that's what I was looking at when I saw a change of position. I was all excited. But just off the back of what you're saying about teams towards the back, Green Stripes and Kerno have yet to actually score this season. So what this would do is Green Stripes there with the 12th place currently for Sandeep Choda would suddenly leapfrog Kerno for the 13th and 14th spots. Initially they would also leapfrog Phoenix, but if Kieran Ryan can actually stay in his 11th place, he then jumps up 2, and with Woods only currently on the 1 point, that battle for the final 4 positions in the Constructors suddenly becomes a much more closed up affair. And that's interesting. With Nijo not really scoring, in fact Nijo won't be scoring any points today either, that sucks them into the battle for 10th in the Constructors between those 5 teams, and they're not having tons of chances to score, so it's going to be races like this where they're going to have to make the gains at this current format. So it'd be interesting to see how that kind of pans out towards the end of the season as you shape yourself up as Gaia and Missalissa. They're into the wall nearly. Gaia gets through on Missalissa. That was a leaning, but fair enough. They both got round the corners, and to be fair, we've barely seen that on any overtakes down at that chicane all evening long. And that has worked out beautifully for Gaia. And what that will do is wrong foot Missalissa to the point where he's now got Fiduk to deal with. And Jason Muscat, I may have been shouting, come in, come in, come in, but by staying out longer, they're all now scrubbling with each other as Fiduk has a look at Missalissa, doesn't do it down into turn 1. That doesn't seem to be the opportunist or the best place to overtake, because someone seems to end up in the wall on most occasions. It's down at Massenet that Fiduk is going for it, and met wheels on the inside. Side by side into Casino, bit of an issue there. Missalissa covers the ground, beautifully done. Onto the inside goes Fiduk for Massenet, doesn't have it, and then a bit of a rude chop there by Davidas. But David saw it coming. All of the Davids out there at the moment. Down into Portier. Don't watch out for that Aurora Designs coated tyre barrier. It's a crooked one on the exit. It looks like Fiduk trying to do what he done to Kieran last time by, but nowhere near alongside enough. Kieran just watching brief in the background, thinking, where did something happen? But Fiduk looking each way to go. But the fact that these lot are all battling each other, Muscat is quite happily running away with it. He's about to be lapped for the first time by Lewis Redshaw, who's lapped everyone up to, and including Foreign Gaia in 8th position at the moment. And then might be a good time to pit, to be fair, because it's now that the time that he's going to have to lap traffic and move out of the way for other cars. So you want to minimise the time that you're doing that and have a good go at it. Here comes Fiduk up at the top of the hill into Massenet once again. And this one, he's done the same splash, but this time he's hit him hard enough to get him out of the way. And through goes Missalissa through. And that was synchronised wheel bashing at its finest, and that's worked out for him. Missalissa then down to 10th at the moment, but that may well sort itself out a little bit as pit stops sort themselves out.
Yeah, indeed. No, I was just watching that as it occurred. It was Missalissa just made a move of a mistake at turn 1, just got a little bit loose in the rear, and that gave Fiduk the chance to get him up the hill and get down the inside into Casino. So that was what was kind of the catalyst there for that, as he just goes a bit deep there through the bus stop chicane, just Missalissa, and that gives Kieran Ryan a little bit of a sniff behind. So keep an eye for him to maybe have a little bit of a look, and he's in on the option tyres, so he's on the faster tyres. Keep an eye out for that. As yes, you're right about Muscat. I will agree. As hello, who's that? Fran Lopez. That's for 4th and 5th between him and Tom Vandervoort. They're fighting now. Of course, Fran's on the option tyre, on the faster tyre, and he is coming at him at the moment. So we're interested to watch this one as Lopez really attacking. We know Lopez's style. He will go for a move if it's there. He's not going to be afraid to try, and I'm sure he'll try his very, very best here to get this position, because the better you can get the positions, more points for Red Archer. And at the moment they're looking like getting some strong points, with Missalissa being in 10th at the moment, and Lopez looking like a possible 4th could be on the cards.
Definitely. Tom Vandervoort is well known for giving it 10 out of 10, but this is where he's got to make sure he gives 11 out of 10 to ensure that he can stay ahead of a car that is fundamentally actually better, as well as having the car on better tyres too. So it's a double whammy, as I would say. Got to make sure that he puts his car in all of the right places. We've seen other drivers do it for a limited amount of time. He's just got to wait, make sure that everything works out well for him. And as we watch this battle, I'd be very interested actually to get your views. Let's just make sure that Lopez doesn't have a go down at the chicane. Oh, he's going for it! Oh, that's not going to be a cute basharoo! Vandervoort takes to the escape road, cuts back across. Fran Lopez was going for it. and was basically not going to say no. Van der Voort cut across. That's a 50-50 in my view, Alicious. And what we've got to make sure is that it doesn't start getting ugly and the tempers keep to a minimum, because you have the Latin temperament in Fran and the Dutch rage that can rage from Van der Voort, and they've got to make sure that it keeps it calm, keeps it together, and that no one does a silly move. And if you can see someone doing a silly move, let them go for it, because they'll end up clouting a wall on the way out of it or something like that. As here we go into Massenet again. That was a chopperoo, and I tell you what, if Fran was not Jewish beforehand, he certainly is now, because that was a definite chop, but it wasn't really on at the same time. And they've just got again, one for the stewards to look at perhaps, because you're sticking your nose where it's only going to smack someone, and then you're chopping across where you're only going to say no. And it's the beauty of Monaco. And a lot of people were saying before this race, why do we race at Monaco? Is it the challenge of survival? Is it the challenge of making sure you don't hit the barriers? Is it the challenge of, I can't really make an overtake cleanly, but I'm going to have to take my chances? What's your opinions on racing at Monaco and whether or not we should or shouldn't do it?
Well, I don't know. I think personally, as Lopez still on the back of him, as he gets a little bit of oversteer there on the exit, out of the corner there, and he just loses a bit of time to him, but they're still fighting away. But no, I think, I'm not a huge fan. I do like the survival aspect of it. I do think that's very good. It's a bit of a unique feature of the track, but
here we go again.
He goes for it again. That's I don't know, that's nasty.
Different lines, I think, is what it is actually. To be fair,
yeah.
I think they're just cutting across each other on different lines. Oh, Van der Voort! I thought he was going round there. Oh, he got it on the exit. Keeps it to the inside just about, but that car is very much a bit like the rear's happy all of a sudden. I've seen it a bit on Cooper's car earlier on. I hadn't seen it so much in Tom's car so far, and here it comes. He's bashed the inside wall slightly there. He's through. Yes, he is, and Van der Voort knows when it's done. But Lopez flies across the sausage curb. That's taking more sausage than I've ever done at that chicane, and through back goes Thomas Van der Voort. That was an overtake move that was practically done, but it was a little bit too hot on the acceleration, and that left him open for problems further down as Kieran Ryan pits and goes onto the prime tyres towards the back. That drops him out of what was 10th place ahead of Visalis, back down again. So that's changes for him. Here comes Fran Lopez again on Tom Van der Voort. They're not giving up, are they? And
no.
I think they're going to be inseparable as they come up the hill, and let's see what happens at Massenet again.
No!
Down the outside into the barriers. He was trying a different move, and this is going to be at the point where you just say, do you know what, do I want to back out or not? And Van der Voort there, that car was looking very loose at the exit of Casino Square. There is a camber change that spits you off just like what he does. So it does look like the car is not too badly damaged, but Lopez will have got pincered into that and maybe damaged on both sides. So you need to spend a couple of corners shaking your car out and then go, right, do I have the car to make that move and give it another go again? Lap 73 just completed by the leaders, so we've only got 4 to go after this one. So he's got to make it count, but you've got to still have all your wheels going in the right direction, guys.
Yeah, no, it's a ferocious battle, really. This one is ferocious, and of course it's all rights to defend Van der Voort. So then the race, here we go, Lopez going for it again. Not quite close enough to go for it down the inside. He had a look there as Van der Voort just got a bit tail happy again on the exit of those primes. Obviously, they limited their grip. They're trying to defend against Lopez, who's on the option tyre. So yeah, a lot of defence here, but yeah, he's got every right, of course, to, because it's the end of the race. This is for position, even though they're on the different compounds. So here we go again up the hill. Here we go towards Casino. What's going to happen this time? Will he go left? Will he go right? He's going to go neither way. He just sticks behind. So Lopez is doing the sensible thing here and just going to avoid contact. Maybe have a look down into that sensible thing in quotation marks. Yes. Have a look down maybe into the low hairpin. He's right behind him. Will he have a look? No, it doesn't. So it's calmed down a little bit now. They're maybe just having a few deep breaths as they're just calming this little battle down, but it's still very, very ferocious as these two are going at it tooth and nail for this 4th spot, which is interesting. But yeah.
Also, kicking off just behind as
Sorry,
Lopez goes through again
no.
down the inside, and this is going to be the same problem as before. And look, you can't just nudge someone off. So actually, Tom is quite right on that one, I think, to have taken the inside. You've got to make sure that you leave enough space so that you can at least have half an attempt of getting through the corner. They're back onto each other again. The other battle that's going on behind this, but nowhere near as entertaining, is Gaia and Fiduk for 7th and 8th. They're actually being clean. But this lot is like proper mud wrestling. Bring out the boobs. And it continues on as we complete lap 74 for these guys. On to 75, 3 to go. Down the outside. Into the barriers goes Vandervoort. This is awful. He's lost a wheel. There's a wheel off. This is disgraceful. You could see that coming from a mile off. And if only you could have just a little bit of forethought, the pair, and just go, do you know what? A little bit of calmness, and you're wrecking, so you're going to go for it. And that is Vandervoort. He's pulled off, and I think he's going to give it up. Not going to do a fighter can make it back. No, Tom Vandervoort's out.
Yeah, and those who benefit from this, Heasterbeek, I'd been noticing, he'd been creeping up as these two were battling. And now look at him, he's in 4th all of a sudden, thanks to that little bit of instance. So Heasterbeek has just gone, thank you very much, yoink yoink, I'll take those points, thank you. And there he's in 4th again. So big bonus for Heasterbeek. I'm sure he was having a little bit of a smile there as he went past, for his own benefit for points-wise, but probably maybe a little bit of a shake of the head at the instant, because I do think he may have almost been able to see that. He was only about 2 or 3 seconds behind that battle and closing. So yeah, that was a I agree, honestly. You probably see that happening about 3 or 4 laps ago, because they were just going so ferociously. But it's a real shame that's ended in that kind of a fashion. But yeah, there you go. That's, I guess, Monaco's way. And unfortunately, of course, Franz keeps going. He's in 5th, and I'm sure Vandervoort will be, he'll be steaming, I suspect. He'll be very, very unhappy, and fair enough to have a battle like that end in a bit of a disaster. So yeah, but there you go. Yeah, I guess that's how it's all gone.
3 to go then, and the next big thing that I want to keep a beady eye out for is Roy Schroten is 3 laps down, and if he keeps 3 laps down, he'll get the final point. However, he is only about 10 seconds ahead of Lewis Redshaw to be lapped for a 4th time. So his battle is, do not get lapped by Lewis Redshaw, because if he does, he won't have completed enough laps to get that final point off of Tom Vandervoort. So he's got to make sure that he keeps that going. Redshaw's about to lap Sandeep Choda for the 2nd time, but that is going to be a really interesting finale to see if he can keep ahead, because he's been looking a bit leery, but he just needs to keep it out of the wall for the next couple of laps. Lewis Redshaw then leads by 6.9 seconds from Alex Cooper. That has closed down over time, but I don't think it's going to be a finale moment with 2 to go that we are on now. And Choda there gets out of the way at the chicane and lets Redshaw through. Sven de Vries then 3rd position. Road Heasterbeek up to 4th, as Tom so rightly pointed out. Fran Lopez is trying, as he may, to try and close him back down again, but he's got 3 seconds to make in 2 laps. I don't think that will happen. Gaia is still ahead of Fiduk in the battle for 6th and 7th. That's an interesting one. Both on prime, and both clearly desperate for the points. Both are kind of in championship battle mode as well. So that's an interesting one as we go on to the last lap now for Lewis Redshaw, as he crosses the line and goes up the hill. And as we continue round on this last lap, what are your thoughts on how it's been so far for you, Tom?
It's been an interesting one. It's had a bit of everything, as Monaco always tends to have. You've had some really close, some really physical in a way battles, and occasions you've had some good battles, some nice clean overtakes, and some very crafty ones. Fiduk in particular has really shown some class in some of his overtakes. Some dominant performances, like Redshaw just dominated most of this race, a bit like Melbourne. It really reminds me of that. And then, of course, that incident with Fran and Vandervoort really just a boiling, really a kettle that was. It was boiling, and it finally clicked, and there it was. It boiled, peaked, and yeah, there it went. So, bit of a shame, but unfortunately, it's happened, and I guess these things can occur, especially here at Monaco.
They do indeed. Schroten does stay unlapped again, so he will get round to get that final point. But here comes Lewis Redshaw. It is a return to the top of the table. He won the first race, and he is back Lewis Redshaw wins the Monaco Grand Prix for 2015 Super League at GPVWC. A beautifully won race, really showing his class in what we remember is the second worst car on the track and actually the least updated car for Aero package. Second, then, Alex Cooper comes home. That is a great shot in the arm for him, and not of the harrowing kind. That gets him up that points ladder quite nicely indeed, from his 6th in the Drivers' Championship to being really in contention. Third for Sven de Vries for Target. Target on the podium then, and that's a great effort for him and from him to see, and especially after what has been a slightly ups and down start to the year for him. That has helped him cement his reputation. 4th place for Ruud Heesterbeek, then for Vodball. 5 is Fran Lopez. 6th, a lap down, Florian Geyer has got it and has done it well. 7th is David Fiduk, ahead of teammate Jason Muscat. 7 and 8 for Hawkeye. 9, Davidus Missilis. 10, and without a front wing, is Kieran Ryan, who's left it to the very last minute. So clipping his tail there as the fox, dare we say, but he comes home 11th. 10th for Kieran Ryan, so top 10, and that's the first time he's been in the top. Yeah.
Sorry, he's now the Fantastic Fox, as we were saying, so I guess that's his new title, isn't it? So, yeah. There you go, Kieran.
Indeed.
Oh, no, we'll call you the old Fox.
When was the last time a Phoenix was in the top 10? That has to have been deep into the early bits of last year. 11th then, 2 laps down, Sandeep Choda. 12th is Bart de Vos for Kernel, getting their first points and Green Stripes' first points of the season, so well done. 13th is Nordzone's David Junt, getting his points on his debut, and Woods get a double points finish, and Roy Schroten has already said he's actually in tears. 2 laps down for Menno Klont, 3 laps down for Roy Schroten, double points for Woods. The Woods curse is lifted, says Menno. I wouldn't say that. Your retirements then. Classified will be Tom Vanderbilt because he completed 90% of the race distance. However, it was a ignominious accident that put him out. Mindegas Columbus, 2 accident and rage quitted out lap 57. Mark Wicks retired with accident damage lap 48. Dowie Tapper the same on lap 47. Mikhail Tumala crashed out lap 42. Jordan Weeks was a disconnect, I believe, on lap... Oh no, it was a crash for him, wasn't it, on lap 26.
Yeah.
Kenny Lybeard, crash damage lap 24. Tom Parker was a disconnect on lap 18. James Johnson, accident damage lap 6. DeWalt Nell, crash out lap 6. Peter Kazza parked it at the end of lap 1, despite not having any damage by the looks of it. Mikko Jakkonen was accident on lap 1. And poor old Renan Lopez didn't actually get off the line because he disconnected just as we went to race.
What a race. I'm actually really happy for Woods to have that double points finish, because I know that Ollie's been having a bit of a hard time with the team. They've been having some struggles with results and so on. So I'm really happy for him to get that double points result. I think that's a very well deserved double points result for Woods. So I think I'm most happy with that personally, and for Rory to get points is always a good day. So that's my thoughts on that. But yeah, no, very, very, very drama filled. Yes, and I do suspect that the forum might have a few interesting, just some possible race views that could be a little bit heated, possibly. But hopefully they'll try and keep the temper down, because I know I've had the similar situation where the blood boils and you just want to go on and just go and just go off tap, but you just got to try and keep it in. But yes, no, there's some moments that I think will be looked at after the race by the stewards, but yeah, we'll let them decide that. And yeah, but yeah, otherwise, no, very, very good race, and I very much enjoyed it as always. Great stuff. Let's drag these beasts of mankind into the booth itself. In fact, let's grab everyone. I feel a bit mean just leaving Sven behind. Let's get everyone in and start off with the question celebration, and let's start off with the Bristmeister himself. Clearly you voted for the top step of the podium today, Lewis Redshaw. Great return to form for yourself, especially with a car that is second worst.
Well, I heard there might be takeaway bingo, and I thought I can't miss that, so I'm going to drive really fast and, get in here, so don't let me down.
We won't. Before you go, we'll have to vote your number on air, but talk to us about that, because that was a masterclass on how to get it done.
Yeah, I thought I had pole, to be honest, and even David finally messaged me saying like great lap and all that, and I was pretty much just replying back, thinking great, I'm on pole, and then I just heard Nick shout in the TeamSpeak channel and saw Alex go top, so that was a bit annoying, but still a good result, and got a really good start. I think Alex had a problem, and first sort of 4 or 5 laps just really pacing myself, making sure I get everything right, and Sven was really close to me, so that was a bit worrying, but just started to pull away. Could tell from pretty early on that Ruud was on a 2-stop, but I felt I had the pace to sort of, even beat him with that, which obviously did happen. And yeah, just control the rest in there. I didn't really, if I had to push, I could do it, and most of the time I was just making sure I looked after it all and, gave the back markers plenty of room, not hit a wall or anything like that.
Indeed, and one question I'll ask is about, because of course we know Monaco is a very, very draining Grand Prix, and we did see a couple of little errors coming out towards the latter half of the race from a few drivers, and I was just kind of wondering, how was it by the end there? Just, were you quite tired, I assume you would have been, from having to hold it together this whole race? So was the concentration levels getting a little bit iffy by the end?
Well, from sort of, midway through the last stint, we sort of had a reminder that our engines are, I think, 3 races old, so I just started short shifting, things like that. But, you do notice that you'll suddenly be sort of reducing your pace to get to the end, and all of a sudden you'll just make a slight error, and you see that. But I'm pretty sure that's always what happens. Like, finishers got points, didn't they? So, and quite a few retirements at the end, but obviously I saw some of them were crashes rather than, just incidents. So, yeah, I think that is partly the case. But all held together well. Just looked after it right at the end, and proud of the team. It's a shame for Parker as well, because he had exactly the same as he had in Hungary last year. So I'm pretty sure he'd have been, top 5s, and so it's a shame, but it happens.
Connection curse. So, yeah, thank you very much to Lewis. Random fact, you're the first person to win twice this year. So,
oh, great, thanks.
Have a drinky on that one. Someone who did not win at all, I'm going to jump about a bit, is David Fiduk, who we saw have an uncharacteristic lost your wheel moment, but luck of the gods, someone come along and carefully popped it back on for you. How was that for you?
Rubbish. Oh man, I've never been so, can I swear?
No.
Peed off with myself before, because the warm-up lap, it just all started there. Florian was ahead of me, and everyone was braking. I guess everyone was backing up ready for the start, and then I was accelerating, ready to warm my brakes up, and I ended up hitting the back of Florian. I didn't have damage, funnily, but because Florian escaped, I thought I'd penalise myself by starting in the pit lane. I just felt really crappy. Got out the pits and made my way up to P5 or 6, and I was going quite longer than Tom and Lopez, so it could have been 5 or 4, and then Ruud crash, so maybe it could have been P3, but yeah, I got up. I can't remember who I was chasing at the time. I don't know who it was, but coming into turn 1, I just got sucked in under braking, and I just didn't know which way to go and locked up and hit the wall. Got the wheel back on, got primes, and went back up to 10th or 9th, whatever. But yeah, apologise to Flo and everyone else's race I ruined, but yeah, all need to pick everything up.
And one more question I'll ask, and me and Smithy were talking about this during the broadcast. What are your thoughts on Monaco as a whole, as a track to race around F1? Do you think it still deserves a place in the modern sort of calendar?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at today, not being big-headed, but you got quite a few top drivers making mistakes. It's the only track, I think, for me anyway, on the calendar where every single second you need 100% concentration, and that one slip up can cost you the win and the title, which it probably has done for me today. So even the setup is unique. You got to be able to get it to throw it around the corners, and it's just a massive challenge, and one that should definitely stay on the calendar.
Indeed, and just to echo the thoughts of that, Alexander Vandermeer sent in a tweet just before we sent off and said, Defo race at Monaco, the challenge for every single metre, 1 metre off, and Neil done for the day. And I think a certain amount of people certainly were done for the day as we continue on. And certainly not done for the day, or I suppose if you are done for the day, it was your best result so far of the year, Alex Cooper. Yoinking yourself into second position from an absolutely stonking pole position. I'd practically sat there and started eating a cream cake, and then you came across the line and yoinked pole. But there was a bit of a bogging down off the line, and from there it was a bit of an uphill struggle to try and get it back. Talk us through it.
I just tried to be too cautious at the start because of the short gears here. I went for second off the line, but well, I think everyone else did as well. But I was just too cautious, simple as that, and fell behind. But thankfully, I got the undercut on the pit stops, and we were crashing out at the end, put me up to P2, so not too bad.
Indeed, and how do you find with your the tyre strategy? The tyres, as we said, we were talking about this during the broadcast. They were tyre wear not as big of an issue here at Monaco, but I'm assuming they were not too bad for you throughout the stints.
They were definitely better than expected. In testing, I think I was struggling to get. I think I just about managed 18 laps, but I could do 20 easily today, so that's on the options that is. But yeah, better than expected, so I could pit a bit later.
Grand stuff. And just because you've been so quick in asking the questions, I'll sneak in another one. Onto your consistency, Midnight giving their best race so far of the year so far in terms of actual competitive as a team. Does this mean Midnight is a bit more back at the front?
I hope so. I just need to catch up on upgrades, and the pace is there. It's just been some bad luck so far, so hopefully next few races we'll be back up there.
Wow. Thank you very much. And let's drive down to someone who certainly had his hands full with the race and kept us very amused with plenty of overtakes. Mr. Florian Gaia ending up from P6, but you was more like P66 at the beginning of the race. You drag your zone up there kicking and screaming. Talk us about some of those overtakes, because some of them were quite classic.
Hello, thank you. That was quite a hot race. Yeah, we had the incident on the warm-up lap around about swimming pool. The guys ahead just slammed on the brakes and were going very slow. And I was seeing the guys behind, and they've unfortunately hit me. Yeah, I had pretty good pace, but yeah, I had to catch up a lot and was at the back. I had pretty interesting battles all the way through with Jason, I think, Mikael, who I'm terribly sorry. I locked up in turn 1 and went straight into him, but of course it wasn't on purpose. Really sorry about that. Yeah, who else was it? So many battles with Davidas and the Red Archer as well. I had to get him on the primes on the last stop. He was just out of the pits, and I know I was way faster than him, so I had to yeah, do or die move more or less, and it worked out of the tunnel. Yeah, P6 in the end. I had such great pace. I'm still amazed I managed to get the car home in one piece, because I'm pretty bad at Monaco normally. Yeah, P6 is all I could have asked for. Was more or less the goal anyway, top 6, top 5. But the car felt great, so without that, who knows? But we take the points.
Indeed, and now looking forward to the next round, of course, which is the Canadian Grand Prix. Of course, one of probably let's be honest here, it's probably a driver's favourite. There's not really many people that don't like the track, but just getting your thoughts on the track. Are you looking forward to this round of the championship that's coming up?
Yeah, Canada is one of my favorite tracks, so the car should suit this place very well. So yeah, let's aim for the best again. Not sure if Augustin is back then, but I'm sure we are forced to be reckoned with.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Florian, and continue your ascension up through the field. Another person who has proved a point today is Sven de Vries in the Target. Target suddenly looking like a very major force to be reckoned with. If only you could keep your teammate out of the barriers and yourself from disconnecting, it could all form itself together. But it started to come right for you, Sven, today.
Yeah, when the Ferry was a bit surprised. Obviously, Super Cup and WSS went terrible for me. These rounds here last year, they went great. I just couldn't get a car. So this time around, this version, so I was happily surprised to find myself up front with Superleague. I immediately took P2 at the start. That was good for me. I started saving tires, thinking maybe I could do a two-stopper. But after about 12 laps, I noticed I already lost half the tires at the rear, so that wasn't going to work for me. Just played it safe, made the pit stop, got really close to Alex. I knew I had to be ahead of him if I wanted to keep that second place. But because he was a faster guy, unfortunately, I didn't manage to get past him. Saw Rude in the wall when I came out of the pit, and after that, I tried to push, tried to close to get to Alex, and was only a 10 for 2 faster, so I knew it wasn't worth the risk trying to fly into the wall and throw away P3. So yeah, just figured I'd collect that and get good points.
And so now, what are your... Because of course we were just saying with Target, they're really becoming a force to be reckoned with now, because both of you were on the pace in this race and could have possibly had maybe even a double top 5. I wouldn't have put beyond the question. So what's your objectives now per race? Have they sort of adjusted now that you have the pace to really be up the top?
No plans really, because this was my 4th and last race that I can do as a reserve driver. So.
Yep.
What are your plans then? Where are you going back to? Tell us.
Oh, I'll be driving a Super Cup for the rest of the year.
Okay. No problem. All right, we'll see you on a Wednesday then.
You sure will.
And last but not least, it's worthwhile bringing him in because it's been a while since a Phoenix grazed the top 10 in any way whatsoever, and it is Mr. Kieran Ryan, fantastic Mr. Fox himself, and talk us through that one because we've not had you in the broadcast booth ever.
I think we did for Melbourne, if I remember correctly. I think maybe Melbourne this year. I'm pretty sure that you're in here at that time, Kieran. I think I remember. My memory's telling me.
Leave the memories alone, says Kieran, because he's not talking. Oh well. You've missed your moment. So
I thought that was Kieran at first, but then I realised it was Tom. I'm like, Kieran, what, really?
Your Irish accent has gone down under.
Sorry, had my thing plugged out.
I beg your pardon. Yeah, so talk to us about that, because you was in quite a bit of action throughout the middle section of the race, definitely. And your thoughts on finally grabbing Phoenix in a top 10 position and improving on the single point that you've got so far in the first third of this season?
I don't think it surprises anyone to be in the top 10 and to get points at all. It's one of those races that you think all you have to do is try and survive and see what comes of it. So just kept my head down, and I think I was up to about P17, P16 after the first couple of laps. Made one mistake. I think I hit the inside of the Armco in the Nouvelle chicane span, and that was it. Just kept the head down, and anyone fast that was coming through the field, the likes of Fidoc and Florian Geyer, I just let them come through because there was no point battling them. My only battle was with, I think, Bart de Vos and maybe Chodak at the end. Tyres held out longer than I thought they would, which is great, so just switched to the primes at the end, and then about 4 laps from the end I realised I was going to run out of fuel, so I had to suddenly start saving fuel and turning down the boost, and then I got distracted going to turn 1 trying to save more fuel and ended up losing my front wing, and then I was lucky that Red Shaw lapped Chodak because I could go around the last lap with no front wing and just about finished the race. So yeah, pretty delighted. It's a great result for the team. It means some money, and which is some developmental work for us, and some points as well, which is much needed for us minnows.
Indeed, and I guess I'll ask the same question as I asked before. With the next round being Canada, is it one of your favourite tracks, one that you're really looking forward to?
Yeah, I love Montreal. I think I got some points here for the last couple of years, so I think Montreal is similar to Monaco. It's all about surviving. It is certainly a lot faster, but you have that second section which is very tight and twisty, just like Monaco. So it's all about trying to get the setup right and making sure that your brakes can get to the end, because obviously it's one of the hardest tracks of the year on brakes. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Wow, we shall look forward to see what the battle in 10th in the... It's a bit like when they kept on going on about the battle for 6th in the Constructors in Formula 1. We're now fascinated at the battle for 10th in the Superleague Constructors between Nijo, Woods, Phoenix, Kerno and Green Stripes. As the Hooters on! At the back of the field. So, thank you very much. I think those remaining in here can pretty much pick out on the election takeaway bingo that's going on. Oh, we've just lost one. Oh well, Kieran won't be giving me a number then. So, Lewis Redshaw, give me a number for takeaway bingo.
Well, I normally go for the prawns, don't I, with you, when we play this? So I'm going to go for... I don't want to go too low. I want to go 23.
Ooh,
Actually, 24. Okay. I'll go 24 just to be controversial.
Controversial. Okay. Oh, this isn't going to work. Just Eat have taken away all numbers on the menu.
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Just add them back in, Smithy.
Okay, I will count down the menu, but I won't do it live on S. Thank you very much. Mr. Florian Geyer, could you give me a number above 50 but below 100, please?
91.
Thank you very much. Yum, yum, yum. And Mr. Alex Cooper, if you could give me a number above 110, please.
117.
I don't know if there is of 170, but if there is, it's probably
17,
a weird...
17.
Oh, 17. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I actually know that is still in the noodles section, so that's good. This is how bad I know the menu. Thank you very much. So, that is a starter, a main, and a noodle sorted for me. And thank you very much to everyone. Final words from you, Mr. Hinsey, before we sign off, sir.
Oh, I guess just what a race. As I said, it had the drama, it had some of the moves, it had a bit of everything, really, a bit of all that you need. And of course, Monaco, of course, is always the place that brings out the dramas in motor racing, and it did just here. You had the crashes and you had the battles. Again, as I said, I think big kudos goes to Woods. I know Ollie will be over the moon with getting a double points result, so good to them. And just as general, the lower teams, as we said, Phoenix, good points for them. First points for Kernov, first points for Green Stripes. So a lot of lower teams, they're getting points, and that really is going to help them in that battle for 10th. I think we should be watching intently for the rest of the year, because I do think it'll be a very interesting battle. And of course, good drives for CSG again with Redshaw there, another win, and that'll be great for them in a car that does need a bit of development work. And Heestvik as well, on his return to Superleague, I thought it was impressive, up until the mistake, of course, but to still, up until that point, have been a pretty much spotless race, and still get 4th is a fantastic result. And as well, Target, of course. They're looking very impressive in that car, and I'm tipping them to maybe be a bit of a regular top 10, maybe even top 5 finishers if they can sort out, finishing races. So yeah, bring on Canada, I say.
And I echo that, and I think off the back of that excellent summary, I've got nothing more to add, so just cuddles for everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. It's a pleasure. Thank you for your tweets on the Twitterscape. Don't forget to tune in on Monday for the International Touring Car Championship, where everything takes a slight nosedive on the professionalism. Not that we raised it too much this evening. Thank you, as always, to Quintin Plain, who is providing cameraman extraordinaire and pixelated filth on your screens. Thank you very much to Thomas Hinds for being alongside me at that ungodly hour in the morning. My name is Simon Smith, and it is a pleasure having you with us. We'll see you on Monday. Bye for now.